Damn it! I've been talking to myself this entire time. Hang on, my microphone's peaking a little bit. You know what that's? It's because am I talking too loud? It says my microphone keeps peaking. Is it alright? It's because I accidentally pulled my microphone out earlier. So yeah, as I say, it's quite interesting that I'm gonna have to like repeat everything I just said. I'll go back to the maps in a sec. Yeah, we'll finish the draft here first. But yeah, I was saying it's quite interesting that Hittites was picked by Saymyname, and I mean, Unrestricted still hasn't gone for the Greeks. I was saying Saymyname could possibly have locked Unrestricted out of the good maps on the closed. Good civs on the closed maps, I should say. But Unrestricted does get the Lightfoot and Shang. Persians is picked up, and Palmyrans. And once again, Romans been a little bit left out. Alright, Bob. It's OG draft. Babylonians, Romans, and so the Greeks are going to go all the way down to the end. And like I said, Assyrians don't actually even get any notice at all. It'd be funny if Assyrians is just the last civ that doesn't get picked. That would make my day. But like I said, I'll go back to the map picks after we get these last couple of civs in. Assyrians is grabbed by Unrestricted. I just feel like the Assyrians are terrible. I feel like Assyrians are just worse Hittites in almost every way. And the Greeks. So actually, the last civ that didn't get picked up was the Chosen. So Katie might be a little bit sad about that one. Just to go back to the map draft, we had Sahara, Citadel, and Inside Out picked. So one open map and a couple of closed maps, and then a couple of water maps. Yeah, it's quite interesting that that Saymyname didn't feel the need to pick Latvia or Shang. And also they were going to flip to see who got host, and Saymyname just let Unrestricted have host. So kind of gave Unrestricted. Yeah, it's best of 7 semi-finals, and winners semi-finals and finals are going to be best of 7. I think the losers semi-final and final will be best of 7 as well, and then the grand final will be a best of 9. Although, kind of in a way, it's we won't get the full 9 games because the winners side bracket winner will be given the first game as a free win for winning the winner side, just to give them a little advantage from that. And like I said, should be hopefully a reasonably close series. I think we have Saymyname as the second seed behind Cool, and Unrestricted has only really come back to playing the game a lot more recently in the last month or so, but obviously he's still a very competitive player. Oh yeah, I did see him saying earlier that he wasn't feeling too great. I mean, obviously this isn't the end of the world if for whoever loses this series, they will just drop down to the losers bracket and they'll have a second chance to work their way through. But obviously, if you can, you just want to win on the first opportunity you get. You don't have to wait for that backup one if you don't have to. But yeah, like I said, basically all the civs get drafted in these bigger series. So one of the unfortunate things about Age of Empires 1 is there's not that many civs in the game compared to AOE2 especially. I think AOE2's got like 45 civs now. Something ridiculous like that. Have we got, is there a draft system for AOE2? Sometimes there's a way you can have a look. Alright, we won't get too focused on that. Oh, here we go. Hidden 4v4. No, we're not going to do that. Hidden 1v1. Does it show? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 45, 46 civs. Must have missed one out. We've only got 17 here in AOE1, sadly. But yeah, I'm hoping Unrestricted isn't too... his sicknesses or illnesses isn't taking too much off his A game. Because obviously this is going to be a tough battle for him against Saymyname. Just close this down, just so I've got less windows popping up. And we will soon get ourselves into the first game. Unrestricted is just setting up the lobby. I think they're just deciding the server. Usually it's the Central India server is the one between European and Vietnamese players. Got a very international player base. Players from all over all continents of the world. Well, other than Antarctica. Actually, I don't think we have any African players, that said. I know we've got some Indian, Vietnamese, South American, many European players, a few North American players. And yep, looks like they're both in the lobby now. So first map is obviously going to be Highland. And Saymyname's not actually really drafted many power civs on the open maps. Normally it's like Shanglak, Viat, Carthaginians, Phoenicians, Unrestricted, getting all four of those. And then Saymyname only really having Yamato as one of the sort of top tier open map civs. He does have Romans and Macedonians that can try and mix things up. But yeah, it feels like Saymyname is drafted very much towards his own map pool. He's not really got himself. Sorry, he does have the Minoans as well. I was going to say he doesn't have that many for the water maps, but he does actually have the Minoans that I hadn't noticed there. So yeah, Saymyname may suffer a little bit on the more open maps and Highland here, but I think he definitely has the stronger options in Hittite and Egyptian on the closed maps. And here we go, we've got ourselves into game one already. So I'll mute the music, head on in, take us into game one of this best of 7 series between Unrestricted and Saymyname. Oh, they've done a little delay. Unrestricted are pretty good about putting the delay in. So it's going to be Shang against Macedonians, and that may... this could be quite an interesting matchup. Obviously the Shang is going to be a lot stronger in the earlier game, but you can never underestimate the extra line of sight bonus of the Macedonians, just helping you find all those resources around your base and your opponent much quicker. And Shang often do go for the Chariot Archer in the Bronze Age, which possibly Macedonians could respond with their own hoplites, but then we might end up with a hoplite v hoplite game in the Bronze Age if we get that far. It'll be quite interesting to see if the game does go to that extent. I don't know if just having the Shang will be just a big enough advantage for Unrestricted that he'll just be able to win this game in the Tool Age, though. We'll have to see. Obviously, Saymyname no slouch. And we'll get ourselves into the game. As I'll switch us into the Capture Age view. And away we go. So, Unrestricted in the yellow, like I said, on the Shang, have been nerfed slightly in the community patch, so they no longer get their free house at the start of the game. The town centre no longer gives +4 population space. Their team bonus we've given them now is the faster working government centre, which isn't actually that powerful for the Shang themselves, but I think that's fine. You can get the things like nobility and urbanisation a little bit quicker, but the Shang obviously lack quite a few of the Iron Age government centre techs. But Shang are already a pretty strong civ, so they didn't really need the really strong team bonus that they used to have. Meanwhile, the Macedonians, as I've said before, it used to be one of my more favourite civs, but in A Return of Rome, haven't really had that much attention other than now that we've given them the new team bonus of the faster working archery range, 10% faster working archery range, which just gives them a little bit more of an extra option to lean into that archery range instead of just relying solely on their academy line that you tend to have to do quite a bit later in the game. Saymyname, you're going to be taking advantage of that extra line of sight bonus to try and find those elephants at the centre of the map. And he's going to find the two in the middle there. Where are the other outer two? There's one over here. And maybe Unrestricted actually grabbed one from the centre. Yeah, they already did grab one from the centre, whilst I wasn't paying too much attention. Oh, okay, Saymyname. That's curious that he didn't try to find the second elephant. Pretty much always, well, guaranteed always R2 at the centre of the map, unless something's gone bugged or something wrong. So Saymyname not getting that second elephant there. Is there any pattern? I think that obviously they can't like spawn right next to each other, but I think it is somewhat random. I think it's just like a minimum distance possibly that they can't spawn within a minimum distance of one of each other town centres, and outside that it's somewhat random, I believe. But that's probably something you'd be better asking someone like Carver that's had to look into the map spawning algorithms. I'm not too familiar with how the maps spawn myself, but we do see Saymyname sending a villager forward already. Pretty nice idle TC times from both players. Ooh, my capture rage I think is just frozen. Hang on a sec. That was weird. My capture rage froze for a second there. I think we're back in the game though. But the initial villager has been spotted by Unrestricted. That's a little bit sloppy by Saymyname. When you've got the extra line of sight on that villager, it's usually easy to see another villager coming and you can react and move out of the way before the other villager sees you. And also, normally, I feel like it's usually Saymyname that sends two villagers forward from my memory. I have memories of doing that. How many channel credits have you got, Design? And why is it 0? Ooh, okay, Saymyname actually got a couple of good whacks in. But Unrestricted going to be clicking up 20 vils, and obviously that's that advantage. All of them, all the channel points, blimey. But yeah, obviously Shang, much cheaper villagers, much easier to get that quicker tool age time in. Saymyname can be up 19 vils with 1 minute idle time. So Unrestricted is going to be to the tool age much quicker. Still chasing down that villager. Pulled that other villager that had a lower health back. Maybe that's that one there. Oh no, it's probably this one here actually. That might have just taken a whack from an elephant, that villager there. And now we do see another two villagers coming forward. And like I said, I feel like usually Saymyname does go with the two villager forward play from my memory of some of his games in the past, just to try and like guarantee that that forward barracks does go down. But in the meantime, where is Unrestricted's barracks? The yellow is, okay, it's forward over here. So it's a little bit out of the way. And didn't see the villager in the yellow blending in with the desert. Both players trying to sort of get the high ground. Villager on 3 HP. And I imagine Unrestricted will kill that villager sometime soon. Meanwhile, first clubber coming out for Unrestricted. Second barracks coming down for Saymyname as he hits the tool age now. And Unrestricted doesn't have the food to get the axe tech just yet. There we go, he clicks it now. And interestingly, he goes for tool working first instead of the armor upgrade. And just because his barracks is a little way off from his opponent, and Saymyname already knows where his opponent is, club is actually going to be in first for Saymyname. And in fact, he's actually going to get the axe upgrade in first. And Saymyname has already got the needlework tech in as well. Be interesting to see that. Okay, actually, Unrestricted doesn't have needlework in. So this Axa gonna probably get another eco. Oh no, actually that's an eco kill for Unrestricted actually. So he must have picked. Oh, that was probably that loose villager that he was chasing around. Finally got taken out. So actually, Saymyname has been like sort of alluding to, has been first to the punch. Unrestricted not having the needlework tech in, still doesn't have it in, and this initial wave of axes being quite threatening. Saymyname find himself a nice little pocket at the back of his base there to wall his villagers in. Archery range has been put down by Unrestricted, and a couple are already on the field. Did he put another archery range down? Where actually are his archers? Oh, the bowmans are at home. Okay, interesting. Pulling the villagers, but again, he still doesn't have needlework in. He's researching it now. One of the axes does get taken down. And Unrestricted actually hasn't lost the villager yet. And he is actually ahead 5 vills. So Saymyname lost that 1 vill. I think he was on 19. And hasn't been adding in extra villagers since. Obviously, Shang villagers, 10 food cheaper, does make it much easier to sort of squeeze them in now and again. At the moment, both players' idle TC times is creeping up. First slinger going to be out on the field for Saymyname, or first few slingers I should say. Let's build another storage pit at the back. I'm just trying to switch back and forth between the actions. Saymyname is housed now, thanks to Unrestricted picking off all the houses. You can just see the little pockets of economy around the map for Saymyname. But yeah, Unrestricted still, just like I said, just squeezing an extra villager now and again. And now it's Unrestricted who's housed. And 7 bows out on the field for Unrestricted, 6 of which are back here. I think one of them was forward, trying to be a bit of a nuisance. I don't know if it got pulled back actually. But Saymyname already on the slingers, could potentially take this fight. Needs to be a little bit careful that he can pick that axeman off that was on low health there. Because that's the other Unrestricted bowman. Another house goes down, that will house Unrestricted again. And Saymyname actually starting to add eco back in himself. Villager goes down. That's actually first villager killed by Saymyname. And these bows trying to get that fight with the axes there. Slingers coming in to protect. Let's have a look at the upgrades. +2, +2, +2. No tool working in for Saymyname. But at the moment, the axe is kind of just trying to pick off the odd villager here and there, mostly using his slingers to actually fight his opponent's army. No room for stone mining just yet. I don't think the market's even down. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on with Saymayname's base just because he's all over both players like all over the map. Another house going down at the back there. Just trying to focus on the battle around Unrestricted's base. Saymyname slightly closing the gap on the villager number. Unrestricted is still adding villagers in. Yeah, these axes can be a little bit scary. Okay, the stone mining did come in at some point. I missed that completely. So yeah, where is the market? I have no idea when that came because I didn't see it come across. But yes, stone mining in makes this pretty difficult for the axe, although if you go melee form with those slingers, that's not going to help too much. And yeah, these bows are going to be limited in effectiveness here. Saymyname just going all in on the slingers now. And Unrestricted just pumping axemen, but once you have quite a lot of slingers down and the stone mining in, the axe's effectiveness plummets quickly. But again, Saymyname maybe not kiting as best as he could, but you can see the slingers sort of eventually taking their targets down. Axes with 1 base pierce armor against the 3 attack once stone mining's in. KD even at the moment looks like okay, it's just a single axe. I saw like a pinging on the map there. Also with both of okay, he does have 1 barracks down, but like 2 of his barracks are the opposite side of the map, so you can see the axeman sort of just trying to run across the map here. Oh, okay, he actually is in on the wood line. That could be quite nice. And Saymyname noticing a little bit late. I don't know actually if 2 villagers with needleworking can beat a fully upgraded axe. Just something I've not actually run the numbers on. I mean, it definitely can't beat 2 axes, that's for sure. Elephant runs out. And Saymyname a little bit struggling for food eco at the moment. Another villager goes down. A couple of clubbers get taken down. And where is Unrestricted's army now? Bo's just having a look around. Okay, there's the market. I found it eventually. And one axer is gonna get taken down. Shouldn't do too much there. And defensive tower gonna go up next to the TC to defend the farms going up. And it looks like Saymyname caught off a couple of villagers there on the berries. You can see a couple of corpses fading into the ground there. And yes, Saymyname just going to focus down a few houses for now, maybe. Or at least with his axes, looks like he's just trying to find his opponent's villagers now. Both of the players sort of quite spread out across the map. Still just the 1 villager lead for Unrestricted. So yeah, just has the handful on the berries over here, a few on the wood line over here. Is that a couple of villagers? That's those bowmen still roaming around. And where is that it? There's another villager roaming around here. Another tower just to defend the farms. Okay, sorry, there's another little wood line there. And some more on the berries. And Saymyname gonna find the wood line now. So I think these villagers are gonna be trapped in here. So it's probably gonna be 4 villagers fairly quickly dealt with for Saymyname. Nowhere for these villagers to go. And that is now gonna give Saymyname the Vil lead in what has been a very chaotic first game on Highland here. Another storage going up just for a little bit more woodcutting efficiency. And yeah, these couple of towers going to work quite nicely to prevent any huge amount of counter push from Unrestricted. So Saymyname now set himself up pretty nicely in this game. And Unrestricted still, obviously it is the Shank. So maybe could try and close this up in terms of just eco numbers. But it feels like Saymyname is now taking the commanding position in this game. And yeah, it's been quite a few trades back and forth, but Saymyname just about getting the edge in the eco kills there. Also important. Little side of the map granary there. A little bit suboptimal. I don't know if there was like a berry patch there and that's why he went at the side of the map. Let me go back and just quickly have a look. No, he just decided to build a granary at the side of the map for some reason. As we see another battle in the middle of the map here. Again, Saymyname with a good number of slingers. With the stone mining in. It means 15 axes committed to now. I feel like this is the point where possibly Unrestricted should have considered maybe trying to tech into Scout just for the amount of food he's committed at this point, just because the Scouts are much better closing their gap on the slingers. Obviously, axes do more damage when they can reach the target, but it's reaching the target in the first place that's a little bit of a problem. And yeah, Saymyname is adding in just a few axes. I think that's just to give himself a little bit more of a front line, or maybe just to like pick down houses and try and attack villagers a little bit more. Unrestricted should clean up the fight. The couple of units there. I mean, it kind of actually looks like Saymyname doesn't quite have the ball of units that he needs to actually repel this amount of numbers now, actually. And a couple more barracks going up at home for Saymyname. Obviously, his other 2 are forward. There's a handful of units hidden away in there. Unrestricted, yeah, still massively committing to the Tool Age army, just trying to fight him as well way back in. And we're already at the 25-minute mark, still heavily in the Tool Wars. 27 military units when restricted now. But again, now a 10 villager lead for Saymyname. And you've got to imagine that he'll be able to balance his resource out fairly soon and possibly click up to the Bronze Age. There's no critical mass of slinger events. I feel like if you're like one-shotting an axer with a group of slingers, that's probably a critical mass. If you've got 25 slingers. But yeah, good number of axes hit. Sorry, I was just reading the chat momentarily there. But underneath the tower, yeah, Saymyname probably should have just tried to sit between the towers here. Axe is going to get in some good damage. And yeah, Unrestricted, like I said, just committing to the axes. And Saymyname probably should have considered going for the Slinger Archer combo, or Bowman combo, instead of possibly going for these 2 more barracks and just going for axes of his own. And yeah, that's a lot of damage done. But Unrestricted's lost villagers as well. Looks like a few got caught out on the wood line potentially there. I feel like you need a lot of axes to pull that off, but yeah, a lot of axes is what Unrestricted's got, to be fair. Both the towers get taken down. Villagers that were protected all going to get cut to shreds. And like I said, I thought Saymyname had a good advantage here, but just going for full slingers and yeah, like I said, maybe not the best micro at some points. Let his slingers get a little bit too closed down before really noticing what was going on. But yeah, both players lost a whole more villagers, so yeah, like you can see here, Saymyname just picking off a few villagers here and there. And this is got to be a pretty exhausting first game for both players. You would have thought, so much like little pockets of action going on, so many places to try and pay attention to. Saymyname still does narrowly have the score lead, but 29 military units on the field, and it does seem a bit odd that Saymyname isn't leaning into trying to add in an archery range and add a few bows, just because of how many axes Unrestricted's made at this point. Plus, yeah, like I said earlier, Macedonians get that slightly faster working archery range, so you can get those archers onto the field a little bit quicker. But yeah, Saymyname though, it just keeps finding villages. You can see Unrestricted down to 14 villas now. It's so difficult. I'm like looking around the minimap trying to find where the actual action is. There's just little small bits of combat. Ooh, does Unrestricted spot the villagers here? And he will find another pocket. Saymyname's paying attention though. Lets the villagers go on a run. It's quite funny that Unrestricted's on 88 pop. He's just been building houses wherever, just to get his villagers doing something. But again, yeah, Saymyname still pretty far behind on eco. It's not eco, sorry, military, but ahead on eco, which he has been for some time now. Villagers in the corner of the map here, trying to get some farming done. A couple of exhausted farms there. I'm not sure. Maybe sure that was not exactly sure. Maybe there was a couple of extra villagers there. One villager just get caught down there. Looks like 2 actually. Excuse me, on the floor. Did Unrestricted? Oh, he did get needle work. Oh yeah, sorry, click it when he got it earlier. But yeah, very crazy game 1. And Unrestricted being very stubborn in this, trying his best, going down, kicking and screaming, not letting Saymyname take this one easily. Obviously, I guess you don't really want to lose with the Shank. As one of the strongest civs in the game. It's just trying to lean into the civ strength to a certain extent to try and keep him in here. It looks like he's not really adding in villagers at this point. Doesn't really have the food. He's trying to add in a couple of bows here and there when he can. He still has 25 axes. Finally, Saymyname adding in the bowman. A couple of archer rangers at his base here. Axes are going to be able to take down the granary there, but that's not really too big of a deal. And military numbers now closing back up again. Saymyname, some of his villagers forced idle by his axes for some time now. Do go out onto the farms again, try and get some food coming back in. Yeah, it's just little flashing lights on the mini-map here and there. I'm just trying to sort of follow the action. A couple more houses. Oh, funnily enough, yeah, I said that Unrestricted was on 88, I think it was 88 at some point, and now he's got to the point where he actually needs to build houses again. Another side of the map granary. Just trying to keep, I guess, just trying to keep it out of line of sight, make it as difficult as possible for their opponents to find it. But yeah, Saymyname already has a lot of farms set up, so if he can just add in villagers, he doesn't need to spend the food. But we'll see a big fight here, and this possibly could decide the game. 6 bowmen out for Saymyname hit. Maybe that was the difference that he needs. Not a lot of micro again, he's just micro pulling the bows to kite with them though. And the large number of axes that Unrestricted has pushes through. But now the bowman mass hitting a point that it's hard to push forward with. Don't know if woodworking, and woodworking not actually in. Is it even in for either player? No woodworking in for either player. 35 minutes in the game. Just not had the spare resources for the luxury. And Axa is going to pick up another villager there. And now, is this where Unrestricted starts adding in slingers now? He doesn't have the stone. There's no way he can. I don't think he can add them in. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't have stone mining. It doesn't actually show stone mining on here. For some reason it shows gold mining on there. I've no idea why it shows gold mining and not stone mining, but is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, it feels like Saymyname is now very much on top of the game. You can see the scores opened up. The addition of the bowman making that mass axeman much more easy to deal with. Show us exploration. Saymayname's basically seen the whole map. Fairly equivalent for Unrestricted. Another bit of a fight here. But yeah, I think the bowman mass, yeah, now the bowman upgrades coming in as well for Saymyname. And 28 villagers to 16 now. I think exploration score only really makes a massive difference in the early game, because you can just get like about an extra 50-60 points earlier in the game if you've just done more exploration than your opponent has. At this point it doesn't make that much of a difference. At this point it's probably just like the resources gathered by the players, I'd imagine. I think Saymyname's probably reasonably far ahead at this point, yeah. Nearly 4k extra resources collected, and that'll be most of the score. Because the KD's actually fairly even still, because that obviously counts for an amount. You can see value destroyed though a little bit higher for Saymyname there. I think that's what it is, value destroyed, yeah. See, like the value of units you've killed somehow is slightly higher. I guess that's I guess that's just, yeah, the bowman costs 60 resources, so they're slightly more expensive in total resources. Oh yeah, I hadn't even noticed that. It's so easy to like, all you need to do is like put 2, oh yeah, you collect all that stone there. You just leave 2 villages on stone and you barely ever use it, so it just like builds up and builds up, builds up. It's one of the, like, unless you're just absolutely spamming towers non-stop, it feels like stone, you don't even really need that much of it. Which is like very different to AOE2, where it's like you want to squeeze as much stone as you can to get those all-important castles in. But yeah, neither player anywhere near going to the Bronze Age 40-minute game. But yeah, Saymyname, double the villager count now, and you've got to think there's no real way back in this for Unrestricted at this point. He is actually going to get woodworking finally in. But yeah, another couple of villagers getting taken down there. And like I said, just from the Civ draft, the more open maps potentially were where Unrestricted had the advantage. But it looks like Saymyname has managed to overcome the shank with the Macedonians hit. We're still probably going to have one last fight, as there are 20 bows still on the field for Unrestricted. But suppose just the Eco League is going to be way too much for Unrestricted to come back from here. Unless he somehow manages to get some huge counter-attack in. Unrestricted is probably going to be forced to take this fight. And the numbers are actually fairly even here, but again, 11 slingers in will make the difference, I imagine. They'll just be able to tank the shots. Saymyname does need to actually get the bowmans to actually act, though. He has to not throw his slingers away. He needs to get all his units engaged. Again, yeah, Unrestricted, trying to get in a few of his villagers picked off here and there, and we'll get back to the action. But yeah, it looks like just Saymyname not willing to just take the fight full on. Bronze Age has been clicked in now, though. Gold mining coming in. And probably just a few cavalry units, I'd imagine. Probably a couple of stables will come down just to finish off the game. Again, the slingers, I don't know, this feels a little bit sloppy by Saymyname. Obviously the slingers are resistant to the arrow fire, but you need the support of your bows here to just get the actual DPS coming in. So still sparring back and forth. Maybe Saymyname just not really wanting to take any risks. Like I said, yeah, there we go, a couple of stables coming down. We'll add some cavalry in, and then that'll be all she wrote. It's a good chance Unrestricted does just call GG when Bronze comes in. I think he might be, to be fair, probably surprised it hasn't come in earlier. I mean, GG is called. And yeah, Saymyname, yeah, as you said, just kept those villagers running and managed to, I mean, the eco kills were about the same. But I think just switching into the slinger and getting that stone mining in pretty early made it a bit difficult for Unrestricted to take many fights. And then Saymyname just did a good job of just catching the little pockets of vills here and there. Unrestricted did have that one sort of comeback push. I guess it was a little later on. Here we go, where all his axes dove under the towers, and this sort of caught him back up a little bit. But Unrestricted's like, Saymyname already has a lot of resources in bank here. All the farms already set up, so he just kind of needed to get a little bit back on villager production to get back in the game. And then the eventual addition of the archery ranges from Saymyname meant that he could take those fights much more convincingly with the axes. And what ended up being basically a 45-minute tool game in game one. Pretty insane stuff from both players. Like I said, a pretty intense game. So potentially a series that could go for 7 games. That might be taking its toll on their energy levels. See if hopefully they can keep those up for the full series. Like I said, if Unrestricted particularly isn't still feeling too well, that might be doubly bad for in his case, but hopefully that's not too big of a factor. But yeah, Unrestricted does lose on his first pick, Shank, and Saymyname winning with the Macedonians here. And it looks like the next map is going to be inland, so Unrestricted just taking his first pick, and possibly he just takes the Latvia here. He could go for Phoenicians or something like that though. And it looks like actually they've already launched the game, so I'll just get us. Actually, no, they do a little bit of delay, so maybe have a little speculation. What do we think from Saymyname? I feel like he'd probably want to save. I mean, you could probably use the Yamato here. I think the Yamato would be fine, and then yeah, you use Minoans on coastal. So I suspect possibly it will be the Yamato from Saymyname. So let us have a look what they did actually pick as I restart Capture Age, because it's doing the Bernie noise again. And we'll find out what this is. Okay, actually, interestingly, Saymyname has pulled out the Minoans here. And I always feel like that's a little bit of a risk for inland, just because sometimes you don't get like the central water. Obviously, you can still take advantage of the cheaper fishing ships to get the fishing eco in those little pools that tend to spawn at the side of the map. But I feel like Minoans are a little bit stronger when like the water is much more, like the ship battles are much more of a thing, like Mediterranean, Ocean Ring, coastal maps like that. I've just seen I've got the stream starting soon thing label that I will now just take off whilst we're waiting for the game to load up. I pressed the wrong button there. Bear with me, boys and girls. That one. This is the one I was trying to show. But yeah, Carthaginians is the pick from Unrestricted. And obviously the Carthaginians, pretty good on most maps, to be honest. I've got to say, these days I've come around to backing the Carthaginians a lot more than I did towards the start of Return of Rome. I was a little bit down on the Carthaginians just because I felt like the longer Tool Age battles weren't in, that seemed to be occurring a lot more in Return of Rome, didn't help the Carthaginians as much. Their initial starting resources not benefiting them as much anymore. But then the games do tend to seem to go to Bronze Age a lot more often, and then just the Carthaginians just have a lot of powerful units in the Bronze Age. And Unrestricted does have quite a large area on his side of the map to go fishing with, so if he does get the fishing ships, and actually both players do in fact, sometimes you just get the sort of like little pockets like this, and it's like a little bit more limited for the fishing. But like I said, in this spawn we haven't got a central river that you do sometimes get in inland, so there won't really be much scout ship. Many scout ship battles I would not have thought, unless one of the players potentially docks their opponent's side of the map. This actually kind of reminds me a lot of, I think it's the Scandinavia map on AOE2, where there's just like a slip of water down either side of the map, and both players have their own sort of area to do fishing in. Obviously, normally that's covered in snow, which this map is definitely not. That's just a good point. They don't have any. I guess like AOE1 is mostly centered around the Mediterranean. I guess there's like the Amata and Shanks, and Latvia, of course. There's the East Asian civs, but you don't have any snow maps in AOE1. You get the Scandinavian maps in AOE2. Gives you a little bit more map versatility with like things like Frozen Lake and Scandinavia, like I said. But anyway, to focus back on the actual Age of Empires 1 game, not get too distracted. Both players going for the more traditional granary start. Players don't normally risk going for a sort of early dock or storage pit just because of the amount of variance on the map spawns on inland. And Saymyname just doing a nice job of pushing his gazelle in. It looks like he's just searching for his extra elephants, which he will find one of there. Another one just over here. And looks like Unres just about doing the one tile miss on his elephant there. The age-old classic, and this gazelle's being a little bit annoying. It's going the long way around here. Unrestricted being patient with it though. Gets his man target down. Villager already coming forward for Saymyname. He hasn't built a storage pit yet though, so this villager feels a little bit early. He might just be doing some cursory scouting to try and find his base first. This is something that Cool actually did in his last series against Genie. I think it was on the Sahara map. Sent a villager forward to just scout his opponent, and then did get spotted, but then he just sent another villager forward to build the forward barracks. And that way you can get the barracks exactly where you need it. And Restricted now sending his villager forward. Yeah, you see the storage pit at the back there. Storage pit at the back here for Unrestricted, sorry. And he will now spot the granary. I think I think he was just about hidden there. Potentially there was a brief moment where he might have been Unrestricted might be able to see the villager. But he's not making any movements as if that was the case. Another villager goes out to grab the elephant. Unrestricted is slightly lucky that he doesn't get seen in the process. Unfortunately for him, though, he's going to be slightly off target with both of his villagers here going either side. Barrack's not too far out, though. And Saymyname actually... Why is he not finishing off that barracks? Is that a misclick? That was a very strange mistake from Saymyname there. That's going to massively delay the barracks going up. And means the initial clever push isn't going to be up and running exactly when he wanted it to. Villager at the back here being sneaky by Unrestricted. May get spotted by Saymyname. Potentially Saymyname thinking of going for a dock. Otherwise, where is he sending this villager? Ooh. I don't know if Saymyname spotted that. It was only in view for a brief moment. But like I said, clubbers... Ooh, stable forward, but... Okay, so I was going to say, does he even make any clubbers? He does make a single clubber. Maybe just to try and make Unrestricted sweat a little. But Unrestricted just going for the walls. And obviously he doesn't see the foundation. Clubbers forward. Tool working in. Axer upgrade nearly in. Villagers go for a run. And archery range. Where did that villager from here go to? Looks like it just backed off, actually, curiously enough. But yeah, one clubber going to be taken down by Unrestricted. Doesn't lose a vill, even without needleworking. And the scout is already going to be wall. Oh, there's a hole in the wall. There's a hole in the wall. There is a hole in the wall, I repeat, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to get plugged now. One scout in. Not managed to pick a villager off yet. Needleworking coming in now as well. So this villager scout probably won't be able to get any villager kills. But will get a decent amount of information on his opponent. So in a way it's probably best if Saymyname stops scout production at this point. And barracks, another barracks coming down at home for Unrestricted. Let's have a look. The Axes haven't really managed to get too much done. And the Scouts are slowly trying to chip their way through the house here. But again, with needle working in, it's going to be a little bit difficult. One villager is going to get caught out here, though. So that will actually be one villager kill to Saymyname, and then we'll give him a one villager advantage. Couple of minutes idle TC time for both players at this point. And Saymyname's still not managed to get himself really set up with a dock on the water, which again makes me kind of wonder what the idea between... Oh, a couple more villager kills there. But I was going to say behind the Minoans was. But actually, Unrestricted letting the house go down. He did have plenty of time to wall up behind that, so a little bit of a sloppy mistake by Unrestricted there. Bowen at the back as well. 6 kills on the villagers for Unrestricted. And a very simple mistake from a player of his level, I think I'd have to say. Axer will get some good damage in, but the bow going to help clean that up. Axers do get in on the wood line. I don't know if that... Yeah, that... I'm not exactly how... Maybe they're just going through the gate. The dock does finally go up. Saymyname does have the needlework in, which is just about going to keep both of those villagers alive, both remaining on 5 HP. Villagers look like they just escaped outside the wall, but they are still exposed. Unrestricted down to 15 vills. It's going to be a little bit rough for him now. And Saymyname housed, trying to add in... Oh, he did build a dock on his opponent's side there. And he is trying to add in the scout ship. But I think Unrestricted has slightly bigger problems to deal with. It's kind of interesting because Saymyname can see this storage pit here, so he should kind of think that there's something going on the other side of the wood line there. At the moment he's just focusing down houses, which is often a good way to just disrupt your opponent in this game, because houses are quite flimsy, and if you can house your opponent, that's a lot of just idle production time. This one scout ship might be able to get quite a bit of damage in though, if Saymyname doesn't pay attention, as the fish on the shoreline has run out. And that's actually going to be probably quite a few villager kills. Saymyname looks like he's focusing on the running villagers here. So both players going to lose a handful of villagers again. Unrestricted is going to be down to less than 10 vills now, 9 villagers. And I think, okay, there we go, Saymyname did notice. And this forward dock maybe a little bit too much of a stretch for Unrestricted given his position. And now it looks like he is going to catch out the vills on the wood line. I think this is pretty much the rest of his eco. There's 9 vills here, there's another 3 somewhere else. Possibly one was forward somewhere. Yeah, there's one village just running around. As we'll see, the scouts picking off the last of the villagers. Like I said, I feel like the scouts probably shouldn't have worked it. Unrestricted was slow to try and wall up behind that house there. And let's let Saymyname have the run of the map, and GG is called. Like I said, maybe just Unrestricted not quite on his A game here. I mean, he even has a villager here. Went off to do something else. But he had plenty of time to try and wall up behind this. And only sort of like, yeah, he pulled a whole bunch of villagers at the last second. By that time it was too late. And like I said, I feel like for a player of Unrestricted's level, that's a little bit of a poor mistake, unfortunately. Again, maybe just not on his A game. Yeah, I guess he was focusing properly, trying to get that docks up and stuff, and only noticed at the last moment. But yeah, that was pretty much the game on the spot. A little handful of scouts able to do a whole bunch of damage. 7 vills down straight away. And yeah, in the end, a much quicker, more one-sided game. Again, I'm a little bit confused by the Minoans pick. As I guess sometimes the map just will let the Minoans be stronger here. I feel like something else could be chosen, but he wins it. Saymyname managed to win anyway, so I guess, what do I know? But yeah, 2-0 lead now for Saymyname. And maybe, like I said, maybe that first game did take it out of Unrestricted there. But we'll see if he can make a bit of a comeback in game 3. So Saymyname winning on the Minoans there, and losing on the Carthaginians is Unrestricted. Map 3 has not been selected yet. Unrestricted just waiting for Saymyname to join the lobby. Okay, Saymyname's just asked for a quick break, so he'll be with us hopefully in just a couple of minutes. But yeah, like I said, fairly convincing game 2 for Saymyname. That, especially compared to the length of the first game there. I got confused where my draft was there. Ended up tabbing for a lot of tabs. And so if we go continue at the rate we're going, Coastal may be the next map. If Unrestricted just picks his next map that he chose. He does have the Phoenicians available for that map potentially. And now Minoans are out of the way. But Saymyname still does have the choice of the Amate, that said. Potentially Unrestricted the Persians as well. But I think maybe Phoenicians would be the pick, and you'd save the Persians for possibly Oasis or Sahara, would be how I imagine it. Latvia still available for Saymyname, for Unrestricted as well. Not exactly sure where he's planning to pull that one out. Obviously on Oasis you get the smaller berry patches immediately close to your base, although there are a few extra ones dotted around. Maybe Sahara for the Latvia possibly, as there's quite a few pockets of extra berries around that map. Although obviously they still have the faster creating military bonus that just makes them quite nice on the more open maps, regardless of the berry count. And let's have a look. Yeah, so yeah, Saymyname has the Hittites and Egyptians available, like I said earlier, for Citadels and Inside Out. And I guess Babylonians was picked up just as a way to try and counter the Hittite extra damage. And if you can get some good trades in the early Bronze Age with the Babylonians, sometimes you can get those, if you can get those market techs in cheaper and faster than your opponent, to just get yourself set up a little bit nicer in terms of eco. Get yourself to the Iron Age, and the Babylonian Scythe Chariot can be quite good into the Hittite options in the late game. Although the Hittites get their own Scythe Chariot, which I think they're fully upgraded for the Hittites, whereas I think Babylonians miss out on Metallurgy. But the Babylonian Chariots do get the +1 pierce armor that helps them close down those ranged units the Hittites usually like to use. And yeah, in the Bronze Age, the Babylonian just regular chariot plus chariot archer is quite a nice combination. It's quite similar to the Egyptians, although it only works against ranged attacks instead of just having 33% bonus health. Full stop, helping in both melee and ranged. Like I said, we're just waiting for Saymyname to sort a couple of things out quickly, and then hopefully he will be into the next game soon. Unrestricted has got the Palmyrans as well. Don't know if he's got some interesting strategy lined up for those on one of the maps. Possibly that's one of the other closed map civs. I'm just going to try and lean into the stronger eco later into the game. And I mean, Saymyname also has the Greeks as well, so he's actually got the sort of the top 3 trifecta for the closed maps, for what a lot of people would consider very strong civs, especially when you can get to the Bronze Age. But yeah, just like I said, just waiting on Saymyname. I might as well get the music going for the time being. I think we're going to be waiting another couple of minutes. This best of 7 series, like I said, currently 2-0 to Saymyname. And River, I mean, it's not River, he has to lose 1 more game for it to be the reverse sweep. The full reverse sweep. It's got to go 3-0 down, then come back 4-3. I mean, I guess technically it sort of is a reverse sweep, but normally it's like a full reverse sweep when it's like you go all the games. It's like when you're 1 game off winning and you lose all your next games when you get fully reverse swept. Because obviously best of 7 this series. I thought there was another series that was meant to be being played now. Did that get delayed? Or have I read that wrong? May have got confused. Yeah, were Bongo and KT not supposed to be playing each other now? What happened to that game? Also, I did miss one of the other losers bracket games yesterday, and I was considering I may, after this series, depending on how long this series goes, I may cast the replays, and that was between Vertex and Popeye. I think they scheduled quite last minute on the Sunday night, and I didn't check the Discord whilst I was at work on Monday. But yeah, I thought KT was supposed to be playing Bongo at the same time as this series, so I don't exactly know what's happened there. Like I said, we're just waiting for Saymyname to just sort a couple of things out, and then we'll get ourselves back into this series. Yeah, I'm not seeing any evidence of the draft between Bongo and KT, so that's something we may have to look into later, see what's happened there. I don't know if maybe they privately decided to delay the game, but haven't let the admins know. Anyways, we'll try and sort that out later. Well, I was just looking on the scheduling the other day, and I saw that the two games were meant to be starting at the same time. Because I was potentially thinking of doing the cast for their game after this one, so I can't do both at the same time. Yeah, I'm scrolling back up to just double check myself. Yeah, there it is. KT versus Bongo, 17 GMT, Tuesday the 18th of June. And that is indeed today. See, like I said, we're just waiting for Saymyname to come back for the rest of this series. Yeah, I was hoping it would only be like a couple of minutes and not the sort of 15-minute wait we've had at this point. But I guess gives you a little time to rally around. So it was a little bit of a rough game in the last game there for Unrestricted. Yeah, you had that one hole next to the stone, and then he broke through that house. Yeah, I guess you just didn't notice until the last second. But yeah, it's not nice to not when you're not feeling well and you're trying to concentrate real hard. Like I said, it was quite a slugfest in that first game. But yeah, good luck for the rest of the series, man. Hopefully, Saymyname does join us soon. Yeah, you made a good effort in the first game because you got the AXA numbers up, managed to attack his TC with the towers, take those down. I think, like Yeti was saying in the chat, that Saymyname should have probably added in Bowman a little bit earlier than he did, and eventually did swap in, relying a lot on the slinger. And let's have a look. Okay, there we go. He's finally back. So yeah, good luck Unrestricted the rest of the games. And we should be able to get ourselves into game 3. See you in a bit. So for anyone that has just joined us, we just had a little bit of a delay, but we're about to get into Game 3 of the Best of 7 series between Unrestricted and Saymyname. Currently, as you can see by the couple of crowns here, it's 2-0 to Saymyname. It's a very back and forth Game 1, went for 45 minutes in Tool Age fighting. Game 2 was a much quicker affair. Unrestricted had a hole in his wall and then missed the Saymyname scouts hitting down his house. The scouts got in, got a whole bunch of villager kills. Cut through the game fairly quickly. Game 3 is going to be on Inside Out, okay. So Restricted going to Saymyname's map here. So Inside Out, sometimes we see a few funky strategies, and be interesting to see what Unrestricted does pick here. I feel like Unrestricted would save Babylonians for the for Citadels, so maybe lack Viat from Restricted here. I'm thinking Slinger Rush just with Black Viat possibly, and we'll see if Saymyname goes for his Hittites or Egyptians or something like that. But I've seen a lot of people go Romans and just try and do a similar thing on Inside Out. But the game has been launched, so I will get us into the game, mute the music. Yes, like that would be good on Sahara. Oh, it's actually Palmyrans by Unrestricted, and it's okay. So it is the Hittites for Saymyname, and I think Unrestricted would be maybe a little put off by that. Obviously, like I said, I feel like the Babylonians pick was kind of maybe, well, sometimes it's quite picked as a counter pick to the Hittites, just because they can, the bonuses sort of cancel each other out in the Bronze Age. But Palmyrans is going to be the play. And we'll see if it is just like a 16 villager rush from Unrestricted on the Palmyrans, or if he is just going to play the eco game. Palmyrans do get the faster moving camels, which can try to close the distance on chariot archers. Not quite as strong as the Cimmerian +1 pierce armor camels, I think personally, but it's kind of a similar bonus in that it just lets you close the gap a little bit better. Loud Bang was Unrestricted, deleting part of his wall there, just to give him more access to the wood. And so yeah, like I said, Palmyrans for Unrestricted, and it's going to be the Hittites for Saymyname. And obviously on these more closed maps, if the Hittite player can get themselves to the Bronze Age, the Chariot Archer, very tough unit to deal with. And just having a look. Berries, one at the back, one forward for Unrestricted. And meanwhile, both of Saymynames are at the back. Sometimes you can just about see, yeah, so Saymyname does see one of his berries at the front, back there, sorry. Unrestricted doesn't quite see the berries either side. Maybe he may think just because he's got like a shorter front that just by probability there might not be a forward berry here, but I don't know if that actually is more or less likely. I'd have to do quite a few map spawns to check if that is the case. Kind of a little interesting spawn there, just that little short extra section of wall around the trees there, with just the line of trees finishing off the wall, I should say. And we're going to see what the approach is from Unrestricted, because I feel like that's going to be one of the key parts to this game. What's the fast runs on Palmyrans? Is it like 19 vils? You go, I don't really know what. I don't even know what. I don't see Palmyrans get picked often enough to like really know what the all the strategies are. Fast iron. No, I was saying if they go fast bronze. I mean, he could go fast iron. I feel like it's a little bit risky against the Hittites. Hittites, you can do the 1TC all in with Chariot Archers and just add in the Siege Workshop behind. Get those higher HP stone throwers out in the field. Very annoying to deal with. But yeah, just a little bit of idle TC time from Unrestricted. Obviously, that's not too unusual to happen with the Power Marines at the very start of the game before you get your food eco full flowing. And Villager Elephant just in a couple of spots there. Let's see that now. No storage pit just yet, does have the wood now. Saymyname has already built his storage pit. And 17 vills already down. 18th vill here now. Restricted has stopped at 18 though. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure what a Palmyra and Fast Bronze eco number would be. 18 is about the same as around 22.5, I think it is. Numbers. Maybe it's 23 actually. Saymyname. Still adding villagers in. Looks like he's just going for the 23 Fast Bronze. He's got the 7 wood now, which does kind of make it feel like he doesn't have enough villagers left on food to go for a Fast Bronze. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain. Okay, yeah, the barracks forward. Okay, there we go. There we go, that's sentiments. I was just like, I was trying to figure out where I was like, where's the wood gone? And then I was like, looked at the mini map. Yeah, sorry. Little brain freeze moment there. So yeah, it's going to be double barracks, slinger, all in. Oh no, actually, it's going to go for both AXA upgrades, interestingly. Which means Slinger's going to be a little bit slowed down if indeed he does feel the need to add Slingers. You go 3 axe, interesting. I feel like against Hittites... Oh, you mean literally just 3 axemen? He is adding a few extra. I feel like if you go axe, it just like opens you up to your opponent just adding in bows is the thing. Obviously, Saymyname, still just trying to go for the Fast Bronze, archery range, and a market. He's not building the market just yet. Trying to focus on keeping the axes out for the time being. Wait for the wall upgrade to come in behind. And the other thing is, yeah, you go axes, you can't punish the early villager as quickly. I think there is... Yeah, Saymyname really needs to wall up behind this house. So it looks like Saymyname is gonna opt out of going for the Bronze Age. He's just gonna switch into getting all this text. And the axes are indeed in. Like I said, he probably should have walled up behind that house. Obviously, to have the slinger being a little bit annoying behind. Stone mining upgrade is in. And villagers are going to be forced to run. On this map, you can just run outside the back of the base, and that gives you a little bit more breathing space. But one villager actually went down, must have been to an elephant at some point for Saymyname. But it's woodline under pressure now. And yeah, a handful of bows out in play. Needlework is in, so Saymyname should just be able to beat down the slingers with vills and then maybe kill the axes, but he's going to lose a whole bunch of villagers doing this. You can see already 3 taken down, and the archers come out. Bow's been taken down by the slingers though. And maybe this is just the GG. It's the Saymyname. I don't know, it's a little bit hard to even read what's going on here. Saymyname just trying to hide away, regroup in the TC. One bowman left for Saymyname, and I think that's going to be GG. So yeah, just rush on the Palmyrans, and GG's called, and that was a very quick game in the end. Yeah, the Hittites, they do normally get saved for Citadels just because, like, obviously the gap between the two bases is a little bit further away, and then it's medium walls on Citadels instead of small wall, and so you get that like extra minute to try and get yourself up to the Bronze Age, which, like, Saymyname was on course to doing that, and then feel like he had to swap back in. Yeah, Unrestricted in the end was able to punish pretty well. 4 barracks down in the end is what it was. And pretty convincing game. So Unrestricted bringing one back quickly in the series. Okay. They probably should have posted that in the chat, in the Discord channel somewhere, so that we did know. Like, again, it didn't matter too much because there was 2 series at the same time, and I was always going to cast this one priority. But I guess we'll catch back up with that one at a later date. So yeah, Unrestricted manages to bring a game quickly back in his favour. So there we go, Palmyrans winning up against the Hittites. That was Saymaneme's first pick. And it is always tempting to just try and do the fast bronze on the Hittites just because they're so strong there. But then against players that know how to punish that, it does leave you vulnerable. And that is one of the big weaknesses of the Hittites. What maps were played? We have so far had Highland, obviously, and then we've played Inland and Inside Out. And our next game is going to be on Sahara. So Saymyname, it's going to take us to Sahara now. And you imagine this is where the Yamato and possibly the Lakviat get pulled out here. I feel like this is probably the map the Lakviat will be utilised by Unrestricted, I would guess. And we'll get ourselves into the game. And it is indeed Yamato versus the Lakviat. I mean, obviously the Lakviat are very strong. Yamato do get the much cheaper archer ranges and stables, though. Yeah, it is the Saymyname. He likes to come and play in the Age of Empires 1 leagues and stuff from time to time with us. He's an Age of Empires 1 enjoyer. That is the one and only. I feel like you could probably respond, if you like, go maybe double archery range with Yamato. But then it's like if the Lakviat can follow up quick enough with slingers, I guess. Yeah, no, he plays in the Centurion League and a lot of the other 1v1 tournaments we've had. In fact, the 1v1 championship we had last year, we had Tato and Doubt both playing as well. Doubt actually made himself all the way to the final. One of the semi-final games was actually Tato versus Doubt. That was a pretty nice series, both of those. And we'll get ourselves into game 4 here on Sahara, though, in this series. Saymyname on the Yamato. Set himself on the berries, as per the normal, and both players, of course. Unrestricted actually has a fairly by Sahara's standards, fairly easily wallable map. It's got quite a nice cluster of close tree lines. A little bit more open on this south side for Saymyname. Yeah, there's like an archive section on the Discord for old tournaments and stuff. There's quite a few casts from me and Unrestricted, and a couple of other guest casters that did cast some games in that tournament. I think the Tato versus Doubt game and the finals, I think, were both duo casts between me and Unrestricted. I can't 100% remember, as it was a little while ago now, but I feel like we did duo cast quite a few of those games. And Saymyname going for his Gazelle, giving those a little push. Neither player, I should say, gone for those central elephants. You do get the central elephants on Sahara, but neither player feeling the need to go for those just yet. Then obviously, like Yeti was saying earlier, in fact I did say it right at the start when this map got chosen, there's quite a few extra berry patches that the Latviat can try and take advantage of with their bonus. Is inting? Is it just because it's quite? Is it just because your town centre's quite close to the edge? Just quite a long distance. Is that the thought process? Well, there's always two in the centre of the map, but like I guess if you commit to going to the centre and your opponent already got there first, then you're in. Then you're in for it. But yeah, you definitely do spawn quite close to the edge of the map on Sahara, which yeah, so there's a lot more distance to cover. Saymyname first to go forward with a villager. And the Yamato do have a reasonably solid scout rush. Howdy hey bongo. And Saymyname does quite like to go for the scouts. It'll be interesting to see if it's just one barracks and then into the scout straight away. And with how open this map can be, scouts usually are quite a bit more effective, which is why a lot of players do like to pick the Yamato here. And there we go, there's Unrestricted's Forwardville. So we may see a big Royal Rumble again on this map as both players going forward. Both players on 20 pop up. A little bit of idle TC time from the Yamato, a little bit extra I should say from the Yamato. I don't think that Ville got spotted. There it did now, definitely did now. But yeah, 10 seconds behind, not too bad against the Latviat. And Saymyname did actually get the first hit in on that villager there. So Unrestricted is going to be forced to bring another Ville in. Whoa, 1 HP Ville. But yeah, the initial push going to get denied. So Saymyname bringing the 2 forward now. And Saymyname didn't quite spot the forward Ville from Unrestricted. So it's actually Unrestricted who's going to get the barracks down first. And this is the sort of point where I've talked about before where sometimes it's just better to put the barracks down at home at this point. But Saymyname committing to the forward. And there we go, barracks is indeed going to go down at home. So we'll see if we do still get a forward stable. And the barracks has been spotted by Saymyname now. He's going to probably need to add in a couple of clubbers. He's not adding any. Which again makes me feel okay that maybe just wasn't had too many things to take care of to think to click it in. Watchtower going to come in straight away for Saymyname though. Just going to try and use those to defend for the time being. Needleworking come in straight away as well, and it is the stable forward. But Saymyname is going to be pressurised here. Needlework going to try and help out. Villager pulled back. Ooh, a little bit of clumsy movement. Villager not quite doing what Saymyname wanted to there. 3 villagers down already for Saymyname. And the scouts are on the way. And there is no barracks at home for Unrestricted. So he is completely open to counter-attack here. And Unrestricted being a little bit mean to those Gazelle. Going to lame those with the axes. But the Sentry Tower going to do an okay job of keeping Saymyname safe for the majority of his eco. Saymyname is stealing a few berries there to lame back. And where are those initial scouts? Was that literally okay? There, just hasn't utilised the unit yet. Axa going to get one more eco kill in, but does get taken down. Second barracks was built by Unrestricted. But here we go with the scouts. No needle working in. Scout's going to take some extra damage from the bows. And needle working still not in again for Unrestricted. It's been a little bit slower of a few. He doesn't have the food at the moment. But I've seen Saymyname usually gets that upgrade in pretty quickly. Where it seems like Unrestricted likes to hold off a little bit, trying to get a tower up on the wood line. One of these scouts is pretty low health, but one villager does get picked off. Meanwhile, at the front here, on Saymayname's base, Axe is still trying to dive under the tower. Tower going to garrison those villagers, but it's just going to get trampled by the scouts here. Needlework is in now for Unrestricted. But these are fully upgraded scouts, and another villager does get picked, and there's a third. Tower does go up. It's 5 for 4 now on the eco kills. That tower, like I said, doing a decent job for Saymyname, keeping it defended. Another couple of villager kills for Saymyname. Yeah, like I said, Yamato with the cheaper stables and the cheaper scouts, one of the few civs that can be very effective at going for this strategy. And when you go with the forward barracks, it means you don't have the barracks at home to try and get those axes in to defend against the scouts. And that said, Unrestricted still does have a 1 villager lead, much more idle TC time from Saymyname. It's, again, even with the discount for the Yamato scouts, they're still intense on food. Yeah, Unres, no food left in the coffers now. Forced off the berries. Looks like he's trying to find some other berries for time being, possibly. Still adding in a few scouts here and there. Archer range and a few bows at home just to help keep defended. And Unres only on 3 axes at this point. And yeah, these villagers still exposed to scout raids. And even with needle working in, he's still going to take a couple of losses with those villagers. Yeah, starting to seal. Yeah, Saymyname creeping ahead on eco now. With just a much stronger food economy still left. And again, like just that tower quite nicely placed early in the tool age. Gave Saymyname the safety he needed for most of his vills. So able to keep the other vills on the back of his base quite safe. Another villager getting caught out. Saymyname being diligent, looking around the map for loose villagers here and there. Scout is quite low. Yeah, see what another good thing about Yamato is they can transition between the bow and the scout. Oh, excuse me, I lost my voice for a second there. The bow and the scout fairly quickly with those cheaper buildings. And yeah, 10 eco kills to 5. So Unrestricted did manage to get some hits in himself, but again, it's just when you go forward the barracks, it does leave you exposed on these more open maps to the scouts. And the barracks has been built at home now, as you can see. I'm clicking over, but the bows are now coming forward. Kind of 120 wood, a little bit wasted there for Unrestricted. Obviously, we're just trying to find another place to get food from. There's the 1 villager working away on the berries. But yeah, Unrestricted, very strapped for resources at the moment. Saymyname just starting to add more villagers in now when he can. Again, those scouts still fairly expensive in terms of food, even before the Amate. But it's good massive military units coming forward now for Saymyname. The restricted berries run out there. As another villager gets caught out. Another couple of villagers. Actually, I think that was the bowman, so it was just a singular villager. But yeah, Saymyname just piling on the pressure still. Another villager goes down. Unrestricted, running back to the defense of his tower. Bow should be able to pick off another few units here though. Be good for Saymyname to just try and pick off these axes. He's going to go for the bows with the scouts though. And yeah, just the bow and scout combination. Pretty difficult to deal with. There's no one unit that really helps. Restricted, trying to go bow and axe. But it's quite easy to kite the axes out at this point. And, potentially, okay, those are bows there. My brain's getting confused. But yeah, next wave of bows coming forward. It's going to take a little while to cover the map. Another bow does get caught out. But it feels like Saymyname mostly just sort of focusing on getting his economy set up as he's stopped unit production for the time being. And put his foot down on the villager production again. Probably fairly satisfied that he's done a good amount of damage on his opponent. Just trying to get another pick here. Shouldn't be able to get too much done with just the one scout under the tower. Okay, now it looks like he's regrouped with his additional bows coming forward and may have another quick push hit. It's the 5 scouts into the 7 bows, but again the bows, okay, I thought they were following up, but they're just kind of idle in the middle of the map. And Saymyname is going to get a little bit caught out here. Scouts on aggressive stance attacking that granary. Might be able to, don't think he will be able to get that villager. He can just hide in the tower. Yeah, Saymyname kind of needs to bring these bows back forward again. Okay, there's a couple slip through without me noticing. And Rez going to be able to fend that off. Although it looks like there was a little handful of kills there actually. Might just go back real quick. So yeah, a few villagers did get picked off before Rez could bring his army back to deal with that. Maybe one more villager going down here. No, okay, should be alright. But now 32 to 24, Bronze Age coming in for Saymyname. Scouts are very strong on Sahara. Just because, like I said, the map very hard to wall up. I'm not sure. This may be a case again of Saymyname hitting the Bronze Age and GG just being called. As Unrestricted a long ways off. I mean, yeah, it's not, to be fair, considering how many villages he's lost, he's not as far behind on villages. Obviously, Saymyname has not been able to make villages whilst he's been aging up. But yes, still only on about 100 food at this point. Now, the little counter raid, but okay, Bo's already there to defend. No real issue there. And I don't know if Unrestricted will try to fight this into the Bronze Age. I'm kind of leaning towards that GG might just get called. But you never know. I mean, Unrestricted does have 10 bows to try and just hold himself in the game for a little while. He's only got 8 farms, 9 farms now set up. It's going to be a long time before he can reach the bronze. Scouts coming in again. All these scouts are quite low HP. So Unrestricted notices that. He still does lose one villager there though. There is a little bit of action in Saymyname's base. Just a couple of axes going around. But yeah, another villager gets taken down there. Bow's a little bit out of position. First cavalry coming forward. Another cavalry unit in the stable there. And Tool Age bows struggle to really do damage to the 150 health cavalry units. There we go, another couple of cavalry coming in. And I suspect this will be the last fight into the GG. It does have a couple of axes, though if Saymayname's pay attention, you could just attack those down with the bows. Okay, maybe he doesn't do that. So the axe is getting good damage there. But yeah, I think the cavalry just going to be too much for Unrestricted here. Pops the villagers out. Bone needlework, not really designed to help the villagers against the bronze units. Well, they did making a good effort of it, to be fair. Bonus justice indeed. And yeah, GG called. I think Unrestricted kind of knew that was over. He was just like, damn it! Hit him! Get down, cavalry! And yeah, Saymyname, like I said, despite his barracks getting denied, I did like to see that Saymyname did build the barracks at home and just let him get a couple of units out. And that tower coming down nice and early as well. Kept most of his eco under protection when he was just gathering the wood there. Yeah, it's best of 7, so 3-1 at the moment. Saymyname needs one more. Oh, I do apologise. That is my fault. There we go. I did put in the title of the stream that it is best of 7. It's been a long time since we've had a series that wasn't a best of 5. But yeah, Unrestricted did manage to get that early barracks in. But like I said, Saymyname just did a good job of absorbing the initial pressure. And kept his eco over here sort of hidden away from Unrestricted, and he couldn't find that in the end. And yeah, then there's the scouts able to just run amok uncontested, really. Like I said, when you don't have the barracks at home, there's not much you can do to defend against the scouts. Like I said, I did say at the start of the game as well that Unrestricted had a relatively closed base for Sahara standards, but it's still quite a lot to wall up. And Saymyname stable down pretty much right at the start of Tool Age, and I gave him all the advantage he needed right from the get-go. And there we go. So we will get ourselves into the next game. 3-1 is the advantage to Saymyname at this point. And we'll see where we go next. So let me just get back to the draft here. So the Latviat lost. So Unrestricted losing on the Shang and the Latviat against the Yamato here. And Unrestricted has Coastal and Oasis left. There's also Citadel still to potentially pick as well. Oasis has already been locked in by Unrestricted though. So you've got to imagine it's going to be the Persians. And to be fair, Saymyname doesn't have a massively strong civ for this map. Maybe it is just the Romans here. We'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, Unrestricted maybe could have taken it to Coastal here, as Saymyname doesn't have the, again, maybe the Romans would be Saymayname's best pick there. Hasn't really got a great water civ left, but the game has already been launched, so again, I'll just get us straight in. Yeah, Saymyname opting for the first pick of the Hittites, and then Saymyname Unrestricted punished that on the Inside Out map. But yeah, Persians against Cimmerians. Cimmerians. I mean, if Saymyname, I feel like this is a little bit tough for the Cimmerians here. But you never know. Saymyname a very strong player. He did manage to win against the Shang with the Macedonians earlier in the series. But you've got to think the Persians have a decent advantage here on this map. And if the Persians don't have an advantage here, where do they have an advantage? That's all I'm going to say. Let's have a look at the spawns. And Saymyname with some quite nice close wood lines for his base. In fact, both players have some reasonably nice wood lines. Restricted berries a little bit awkwardly positioned. That's going to be a little bit annoying if he ever wants to put farmers around those later on. Quite close up to the wood line there. I think there is a little bit of a space behind it, so villagers can get round if need be, but it's kind of a little bit awkwardly placed on the bottom of the hill there. But yeah, obviously Persians with the faster hunt bonus and the faster working stable. And in theory this is another map where the scout can get some good damage in. And I think the house is... My brain's trying to work that out. I think that house might be in farm range. Maybe you can fit a farm range in there. I'm trying to judge it, but anyway. We'll find out later, I guess. So, sorry, Unrestricted pushing the zebra already. And it'll be interesting to see how diligent he is at trying to find the extra elephant around the map. Obviously, Sahara, plenty of elephant on this map. 12 in total. Dotted around. Just have a couple quite near on this side. Doesn't have to go too far. Want to tile off the elephant, as is tradition. But could quite easily find these with a little bit of searching. Looks like Saymyname is doing a little bit of exploration of his own. Sees his zebra here. As his berries are probably starting to run a little bit thin. Yeah, 200 food left in those berries. Going to need to get another source of food in pretty quickly. I just have another elephant there. I hadn't noticed that one. I guess that maybe that was over here and he grabbed that earlier. And he does see another elephant now. Didn't tag it though. There we go. So he's going to grab himself a couple of elephants, which is nice for him. And there we go. Unrestricted. Did find the elephant. Should find this one here. Maybe, maybe not. A little bit of idle time from Saymyname, but nothing major just at the moment. Looks like both players currently have a lined up for 19 vills. Be interesting to see if anyone does go for something at under 20 sorry, vills, or if they do just see the standard 20 vill up. Saymyname. Okay, putting a storage pit up at the back there, and has the option of the gold if the game does reach the Bronze Age. And villager already forward for Saymyname. Unrestricted, unfortunately, going around the long way. Ooh. I thought I saw that villager doing a little moonwalk for a second there. Maybe that was my imagination. But yeah, Unrestricted. Okay, send villagers both ways. Fair enough. He stopped on 19 vills, but he's a little bit shy on food. It does click up, and yeah, 53 seconds of idle time. Sumerians obviously with no Stone Age eco bonus of any kind. In theory, the Persians should go up a little bit quicker, but you'd like to think Saymyname would have had a little bit less idle time than 53 seconds. So, a little bit rough again for Unrestricted. Planted that first barracks. Not really where he wants it. Second barracks is going to be much better. And okay, he spotted his opponent now, so he could probably start researching AXA at this barracks here at the back. And indeed he does. Start acting clubbers in at the front one. And barracks at home for Saymyname. Knows he's a little bit on the back foot. Tool Age just about coming in. Second barracks at home as well for Saymyname. 5 villagers to get that up and running. He knows he's in for a little bit of a rough ride, I think, at the start of this Tool Age here. And funnily enough, both players are synced back up, but Unrestricted has an extra villager. And the axe upgrade already in. And is this a stable? It is indeed a stable. Axe are fully upgraded already. Going to be able to take on Clubman very, very easily. Archery range rushed up with 10 villagers there. And is Needle working in? It's Cimmerian, they get it for free. He's going to go long haul on these Zebra here. Maybe Saymyname builds storage pit here. He's running into a couple more military units. The Axes coming back in pursuit. This is already looking a little bit rough for Saymyname. Obviously those are quite tough villagers for the Cimmerians. They get the +1 attack bonus for free when they hit the Tool Age now. As well as they have the 40 HP instead of the 35 that you get with needlework now. Archer's going to come in to save the day, but this 2 villagers is the cost paid for Saymyname so far. And it's a storage pit, although the Zebra have gone all over the shop at this point. And this is... It feels like Saymyname's going to have to instantly abandon the storage pit, so maybe we've been better looking for berries elsewhere. It's going to be forced to fight with the villagers again. Another villager goes down, another 2 villagers, 5 villagers, and Saymyname has managed to clear up most of the axes, but eco kills at 9 now, 10, and that is indeed GG. And yeah, like I said, the Cimmerians were always going to be in a rough spot here, I think. 2-1, 2-3 now, Unrestricted coming back, and like I said, I think it was just 53-second idle TC time. You can see it creeping up here, and Unrestricted only 5 seconds idle TC on the 19 Vill up. Like I said, the initial barracks was a little out of position. Oh, wait, that's Saymyname's villager actually. Yeah, initial barracks was a little out of position, but fortunately Unrestricted spotted the base and was able to sort of, like I said, switch up and research Axa at the back barracks here and just get the pump going from the front barracks. I feel like if he didn't find the base of Saymyname as soon, that Saymyname might have had a little bit more of a chance to get himself into the Tool Age there. But yeah, the barracks still not even going up for Saymyname at this point. There we go, does get an and he did add it in the second barracks, but the elephants ran out, and then Saymyname tried to get hold of the Zebra. That was just where the battlefield was. Yeah, he hadn't spotted the berries at the back there. Was left with no other options for his food. And then you just like these battle at the end there. The Axes doing the work. Bo's finishing it off at the end. And yeah, Saymyname forced to resign. 10 Vills left. Okie dokie. So we go to game 6. 3-2 to Saymyname. Yeah, that's true. Because it's always much easier to just grab an elephant afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can't do it if you wait too long. Oh, AOE2 Rex has just gone down, so I may have to look through the game through the actual client. Where am I going? I'm trying to go back to the draft is what I'm trying to do. So the Persians winning out against the Sumerians there. And that leaves Coastal and Citadel left in the pool. And I mean, Citadel, Egyptian still available for Saymyname. He's got to be feeling fairly good about that. And I think, how would you even play this as unrestricted here? I imagine Citadel's is going to be the next map picked. Unfortunately, I can't see AOE2 Rex has gone down at the moment. So I'm going to have to go through the game instead, I think. Find custom game. Oh no, I would spectate, don't I? What am I doing? What am I doing? So it is on Citadels. And we will spectate with Capture Age. And Egyptians against Babylonians. Yeah. I mean, what other options did Unrestricted have? So you had the Phoenicians and Assyrians. But yeah, the Babylonian... I've actually gone on the wrong screen here. Sorry, I was meant to go on this one here. The Babylonian chariot archers do actually match up with the Egyptian chariot archers. But if you add regular chariots into that equation, the whole thing just shifts massively into the favour of Egyptians. I think what his other two options were Assyrians and Phoenicians. Like, what would you have picked there, Bongo? Would you just go Phoenicians and just try to rush? But then what do you use? But then what do you use for the last map on whatever the last map is on Coastal? I think that shouldn't work. I'm obviously nowhere near as good as you, Yeti, but my brain just tells me that the Egyptian bonus chat for Chariot's big is all I'm thinking. And I don't know if the Babylonians' bonuses are strong enough. And I think the cheaper farm eco for Egyptians is just better than the Babylonian cheaper techs. Yeah, I feel like Egyptian Scythe Chariots just beat anything Babylonians can do. It's my brain think. Because, yeah, Babby doesn't... Oh, no, Babby does get the last attack upgrade. I didn't think Babylonians did. One TC. I mean, yeah, I guess you could potentially still try to go for a slinger play with the Babylonians. You get the cheaper market techs. It's not the best of bonuses for the rush. Normally it's just better to have some sort of food eco bonus in the tool age just to get yourself up to that in the Stone Age to get you up to the tool age nice and quickly. Unrestricted just pushing in his zebra straight away. Saymyname looks like he's just going to go grab the... maybe he's just having a look around, actually, for the time being. I thought he was going to grab the elephant. And let's have a look. No jackpot berries today. In fact, the players are quite close to each other in their spawns. Normally, they're opposite side of the maps. And they're kind of like both in the corners as well. So actually quite close to one another. That could potentially help a Babylonian rush of some sort. Obviously the Babylonians do get the higher HP walls as well, 480 compared to the 300. It's 60% bonus, I think, is what I'm working out the maths in my head, because I can't actually quite remember what the bonus is just on paper. Unrestricted has opened up the back of his base as well. And Saymayname's got a nice little pocket. Although, not the best of access to wood. I guess you can go for this wood here, and it's fine there. It's not terrible either. And yeah, like I said, I feel like the Babylonians should struggle into the Egyptians. I feel like the Egyptian economy is just a bit stronger, and then the chariot bonus is just stronger for the Egyptians as well. But obviously, the Egyptians, what am I saying? The civilizations are only one factor to the game. The actual gameplay can often be much more important. Storage pit just going up on the wood line there for Unrestricted. And looks like Saymyname trying to push in his zebra now. Unfortunately, he's put his houses sort of in the way of the push, which is going to make this a little bit difficult. And the villagers already coming out. I was going to say might scare the zebras away, but he got away with it to some extent. Not too bad in the end, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit awkward to get the last guys in. But villager already out for Unrestricted, and it is 20 pop up. So it looks like, in fact, Saymyname's got himself housed. I don't know if that was intentional. Okay, no, he's going 20 pop up as well. Okay, so he's just making sure he doesn't get tool rushed. Or is more ready for a tool rush, I should say. That said, 38 seconds idle TC time. A little bit sloppy from Saymyname. It's usually fairly easy on these closed maps where you've got the guaranteed resources inside your base to get those units out. Interesting, I don't know if that... Because in AOE2 there's the cracked terrain, your buildings actually take more damage on that. I don't know if that is just... visual, or if it is actually the cracked terrain. I've never actually noticed that before. Yeah, possibly just visual, because I don't even think, I'm not even sure that's a mechanic in AOE1. But both players going out with their barracks, and I will say the Egyptians should be slightly weaker than the Babylonians are, if they go into slingers, that is. But both of them just going clubbers at the moment. Obviously, Unrestricted will now know where his opponent is. Be interesting to see if Saymyname goes to the opposite side of the map, though. And he does see the clubber there now. Unrestricted is just saying hello with the clubber there. But yeah, stone mining coming in. Like I said, for the Babylonians, that is cheaper tech. And the third barracks coming down. Saymyname getting the extra upgrade in. And all the storage pit techs, archer range being added. 3 barracks already down for him as well. Unfortunately for Saymyname, his barracks aren't in the position to really help defend too much. Saymyname may want to consider trying to put a building behind this gate here, but he isn't making any moves to do that at the moment. I guess he doesn't have the wood. He spent all his wood on buildings outside his base. Axis are going to come in at the back. Unrestricted doesn't have the leather armor in. He's just clicked it now. So if Saymyname can pick a couple of units off here, that would obviously be very handy for him. And this is not usually what we see on Citadels. We don't normally see a full tool war. But that's what we're getting. Obviously the eco is much more secure in this position than it was in the chaos that was game 1 of this series. But yeah, Unrestricted, losing a whole host of units there. Slingers just getting absolutely clapped. And Saymyname massively winning out in that little engage there. What's this? An archery range. 2 archery ranges down. Yeah, 4 barracks. Maybe the 4th barrack was a little bit over the top. I don't think you're ever going to have the resources at this stage of the game to actually be able to pump from 4 barracks. Now it's looking a little bit difficult. He's using the Babby bonus to squeeze out the woodworking tech. He's still trying to add in military units, and he is a couple of villas ahead. Saymyname been focusing much more on the military. Potentially, yeah, Unrestricted could just quietly sneak his way up to the Bronze Age behind this. But he needs some amount of units to make sure he doesn't just get counter-pushed. As it looks like Saymyname's now trying to assemble the army. We do see a few units going to get picked off here though. So Unrestricted going to be able to get a couple of kills back. And both players pull back the army to regroup for the time being. Saymyname has been adding extra villagers now. Going to the storage pit. So yeah, Saymyname committing to adding in slingers of his own now. Unrestricted, no slingers left from his initial slinger push attempts. Woodworking is coming in for Saymyname now. And Saymyname starting to add in those farms. So that's the Egyptian bonus will be starting to kick in at this point, and the wood savings will be starting to help him out in a major way. I think the points difference maybe slightly misled. I guess that's just the KD just being massively in favour, and Saymyname is probably what the points difference is at the moment. Both players on fairly even armies, slightly ahead on the eco for Unrestricted. He's had that woodworking tech in for a little bit longer. Stone mining now coming in. Saymyname just focusing on clearing out the military buildings, has taken down all 4 of those barracks that were placed down. Oh, 3 of them, I guess. He's not going to finish that one off. But now triple archery range for Unrestricted. We're going to see a battle here. Stone mining now in for Saymyname though, but it doesn't have. I think it's sort of like the slingers here down here, slightly out of position at the moment. Numbers advantage in this area here in favour of Unrestricted, so Saymyname needs to reposition before he takes the fight. Villager may get caught out, gets away with it. Another barrack's going to go down. It's going to get a little bit delayed. It shouldn't take too long. So I'm just going to focus down a quick couple of houses, take a couple of freebies. The game on a knife's edge in these central battles here. Maybe the slinger will be enough to make the difference. Again, Saymyname has a tendency of just letting the axes just approach him. But the slingers here, I think, will give Saymyname the edge. All the axes go down. It leaves the ranged units left. And like I said, the slingers, I think, should be able to help Saymyname push this forward. Unrestricted keeping a good pump of units up behind this. But yeah, the slingers sort of, they're just, everyone's crisscrossing around trying to get involved in the fight here. Meanwhile, behind this, both players still fairly equal in terms of eco numbers. Slightly ahead for Unrestricted more though. But again, Saymyname winning out on the fight here. The addition of the slinger definitely tilting the fight in Saymyname's favour here. Just having that extra pierce armour just makes them quite a good meat shield in front of the bows. You have to be quite specific in microing to avoid hitting them, and then if you don't hit them then you're still taking the bonus damage. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. Axes maybe could have punished a little bit more there, but there's a lot of little micro movements happening from both players. And yeah, this is the last of Unrestricted's military here, 4 units, and I've selected all of them to the 17 of Saymyname. Unrestricted Possibly considering just trying to get to the Bronze Age now. He's idled the TC, he's not adding extra villages, in fact he's adding the wall in as well now. So this he may be conceding the middle of the map. But he's not that far ahead in terms of eco. Like I said, he did get those eco upgrades in a bit quicker than Saymyname. So I imagine he does have a slight advantage. Oh, it's even more narrow a gap than I thought it would be. In fact, that gap's probably entirely made up by the fact that Semifinal has the Egyptian farms being much cheaper. And yeah, you can indeed see both players. Yeah, it's actually going to be Semifinal that's going to be able to click very marginally quicker. So, a rare treat of a pretty big tool age fight in the centre of the map for Citadels. It's not very often we see that. Normally if it's tool age fights, it's normally one person breaking into the other person's base and the other guy trying to defend. A much more open fight in the middle of the map has massively gone 46 units to 26 in Saymyname's favour. Like I said, the Egyptian eco of the much cheaper farms. I'm not actually sure how. What actually is the bonus? Is it 30% for Egyptians or is it 20%? But then that's off each farm, and each farm costs 80 wood. So 16 wood for each farm. That adds up pretty quickly. Yeah, Saymyname looks like he's just trying to clear out the military buildings, so Unrestricted will have to rebuild those at home. Unrestricted is building the stables, and he's going for gold mining. So maybe we just see... Is this just going to be cavalry here? Interesting choice. Maybe just trying to use a more powerful unit to deal with the chariots. And I mean, if you can get a good mass of chariots, cavalry up, it can deal some good damage. But obviously that doesn't really help you get into your opponent's base. But if Unrestricted can get control of the map, maybe you can get that forward siege workshop down. And Saymyname just focusing this little section of wall here. And the Babylonian walls, again, 60% more HP. It's going to give Unrestricted a little bit extra time. In fact, Stone Thrower already out for Unrestricted. Yeah, there we go, the siege workshop down here. Well, not out yet, on the way though. And he's going to be able to get himself a handful of cavalry out on the field. Doesn't really have the gold to keep this continuous fight. He's saved a little bit to get metalwork in. It's a little bit risky here, going for the wall up behind. It's definitely going to lose a few villagers. Going for the gate to try and get some extra length, but with woodworking in, his bows are going to have none of that. Wheel in, Chariot Archer on the way for Saymyname. And Stone Thrower's going to be able to get a few good hits in here. And this may potentially stop Saymyname from getting in for the time being. He is going to break down the wall, that said. And the gate didn't get any building done on it, so Saymyname is in now. Like I said though, the cavalry units should just be able to sweep up for the time being. And Unrestricted just going to try and use those to hold the position. Saymyname and Unrestricted already on 3 TCs. Actually, Unrestricted a little bit slower to get his third TC up. +4 armor coming in for those Egyptian chariots though. Plus, I think +4 attack already did come in. I think I did see that for Unrestricted. Indeed, it did. Like I said, if Saymyname just sticks with the Chariot Archer, then the Babylonian Chariot Archer does actually match up against the Egyptian Chariot Archer. It's just the actual regular chariot itself. And if Saymyname thinks about adding that in, could be a potential problem. Chariot's trying to cut through the gate. One villager to try and repair. And Stone Thrower's going to get a little bit caught out. Not enough cavalry units. And yeah, Unrestricted is adding in the regular chariot here. Like I said, actually the cavalry do get in, so there's going to be a couple of villager kills. Like I said, none of these do struggle to get in a little bit because you can just wall up behind, but Saymyname, whoop, okay, I was going to say Unrestricted, might have got led back out with the base there. But these cavalry are tanky enough to take a reasonable number of chariot archer hits, which gives them a chance to try and get some damage in. That said, we're on 11 chariots now. In fact, Saymyname trying to tech in. Oh, he's actually already got Priest, I hadn't even noticed that. Priest does get a quick conversion in. Doesn't get quite taken down either. There we go. Unrestricted finishes it off, but the camel being added in now. And I guess these chariots do already have the upgrades because they share the same upgrades as the cavalry, but like I said, I think potentially Unrestricted could have added in chariot archer to his cavalry and used the cavalry as his melee unit. Though that, of course, that would leave him a bit vulnerable to the camels. But now, Saymyname, just much larger. Eco, nobility trying to help Unrestricted out there. But again, I think Saymyname, once he sees these chariots, all Saymyname has to do is add in just regular chariots of his own. And it should be... there should really be an extra option after that for Unrestricted at that point. I think the cavalry wasn't a bad idea. But yeah, I think you can't go regular chariot into Egyptians. Eco numbers still fairly even. Slight advantage for Saymyname. And Unrestricted may be able to take a couple of decent fights with the chariots for the time being. And yeah, I feel like I said, if Saymyname just, he's already put a couple of stables down to build those camels. Maybe it was just the one stable actually. But yeah, just the Egyptian chariot should just beat the Babylonian chariot. Chariot Archer's going to take a little while to chew through those Babylonian walls. A couple of extra priest upgrades coming in. And okay, so Chariot Archers are being added in now by Unrestricted. So if Saymyname doesn't add in the regular chariot, then this isn't too bad for Unrestricted. But I mean, the chariot still has its uses. All I'm saying is the Egyptian chariot is strong. Ooh, Saymyname actually just going for Iron Age. Stone Thrower coming out as well to just crack open the walls. And this may catch Unrestricted a little bit off guard here. I wasn't watching the eco numbers myself. Unrestricted just massively focusing on his military for the time being. Like I said, he's actually in a position here where he could get a good fight in, and if he can take down a good number of these chariot archers before, things like alchemy and ballistics come in, or nobility, and his priests shouldn't really be that effective against the chariots. They will get one conversion in. But yeah, Saymyname going to be forced to pull back. I imagine. Oh, he's not actually. He's got a couple of houses blocking that gate, but he's not actually really properly housed up again. And Unrestricted needs to get damage in now before the Iron Age comes in. And like I said, they do quite well into the chariot archers just because the Babylonians have the +1 pierce armor. It's just if Saymyname actually has chance to switch into the regular chariot himself. So far he's not done that at all though, and this may have given Unrestricted a chance. Saymyname trying to check into Camel, but Camels only do +4 damage against chariots. They don't do the full +8. Chariots have 4 cavalry armor, negate some of the bonus damage. Stone Throwers, I mean, Saymaneme's literally just opened the gate there. Unrestricted didn't quite notice in time, but he is in. Iron Age is in. And he's going for scale armor on the cavalry. Maybe it would have been worth better doing that for the chariot archers for the time being. And C, Saymyname doing a good job of kiting this back. Just a full flood of chariots from Unrestricted. This battle could go either way. Maybe a few good stone thrower hits in. Saymyname needs to be very on the ball here. And again, I feel like if Saymyname just added in the regular chariot, that's all he needs to do instead of he's going for the camel. And Unrestricted just absolutely cutting through now. You can see the absolute huge spam. Iron Age is in for Saymyname, but he's not managed to really do anything with the Iron Age. I guess he did. Yeah, in fact, yeah, it's only +4 armor on the camels. He didn't have the +6 in. I mean, still good massive chariot archers for Saymyname. He hasn't got the alchemy tech in just yet, which would be a big difference maker here. Like I said, still ain't got +2 melee armor on these chariots as well. Obviously, they've got a lot of HP because they're Egyptian chariot archers. 107, and looks like the flood has been put down. 26 eco kills, but 42 chariot archers still up for Saymyname. And the camels were just about enough to halt the tide. I mean, the camel, I think, is still better than the chariot 1-for-1. But I just didn't think he'd be able to get enough up in time. But Saymyname just being stubborn, putting his foot down. Now Iron Age is going to come in for Unrestricted, and he does have a villager lead here. But now that we're in the Iron Age, I don't know what more Unrestricted really can do. The Iron Age tech's coming in. Still no alchemy from Saymyname. It's a little bit confusing. That's obviously a very strong upgrade for all the chariot archers that he has in play. I mean, he can spam them forever, but again, those Egyptian chariots are just much stronger if he does manage to get to Scythe. Alchemy finally coming in. I feel like Saymyname has been missing upgrade for quite a while. Saymyname does have a minor lead military-wise. Towers going up. Unrestricted just trying to buy as much time as he possibly can. Iron Age does come in. And he's teching into Chariot Archer himself by the looks of it. And we're just going to see the full Chariot Wars, it seems. Guard Tower coming in as well. Obviously those Babylonian towers, very tough to deal with. Egyptians don't get the best of siege, but there we go, Scythe Chariot is coming in now. So yeah, once this craftsmanship comes in, I don't think Egyptians get engineering either, so it may be actually quite hard for the stone throwers to push forward for Saymyname. Maybe this does give Unrestricted the chance to come back into this game. We've seen battles at all ages of the game here. We got a huge tool fighting out in the open. We've seen some bronze fights, and now we're going to get full into the Iron Age. We've been treated to the lot. The game 6 here between Unrestricted and Saymyname. I thought Saymyname had done enough to hold Unrestricted back, but Unrestricted did get a good number of eco kills in, which has allowed him to try and close the gap up. But yeah, Scythe Chariot in first for Saymyname. He's actually adding an Elephant Archer as well. So yeah, Scythe Chariot coming in, but okay, so no, he does have some regular chariots. For some reason, my brain just didn't see that. But yeah, Conscription coming in for Saymyname as well. Gonna let those units come out much quicker. A few horse archers added in by Unrestricted. I don't know if that was a misclick. But now both players just massing up the military, 79 units to 61. Catapult being trained into now. Upgraded into, I should say. Stonefire is going to get picked off. Going to get one okay hit in. Guard Tower is going to do a good amount of damage here, though. That's probably the thing. Okay, no, engineering does. Egyptians do have engineering. Fair enough. So that means the catapult, the stone throwers will be able to outrange these guard towers. Scythe Chariot's coming in. Scythe Chariot now coming in for Unrestricted as well. But again, the Egyptian Scythe Chariot just much stronger than Babylonian one with the extra 33% HP. And Capture Age always has some like funky positioning with the boulders there. But yeah, Catapult's going to do a good job of holding the opposing stone throwers back though, which is going to make this push quite hard for Saymyname. He's trying to set up a sort of battle line himself with the towers. Afterlife coming in, that's a bit curious, he's got no priests. We do see a bit of a fight here now. I don't know if this is a case where Unrestricted can just sit back, and in fact he is at 250 pop already. I was going to say just get himself up to max pop. So I'm not exactly, I guess this is to try and convert the catapults is the thinking there. I feel like the Chariot Archer should be able to just jump out and punish any priests though. Heavy Catapult is coming in now, and Horse Archer is being continuously added in by Unrestricted. I think we're in for a pretty intense battle. Saymyname has been given the run of the map, so he will have he will be able to take all the gold in the centre of the map. Egyptians don't really need gold that much. That said, I guess it can use it to add in a few more priests and maybe elephant archers. See a little bit of a wraparound here. Potentially these villagers on the gold going to get trapped out. Medium wall is researched in preparation for the siege. But I think a few villagers here going to get taken down. I think he's accidentally right-clicked the gate there instead of running in. Oh, Scythe Chariots are in though. This could be a little bit of a problem, especially if Saymyname can get himself onto the catapults. As a heavy catapult upgrade comes in, I think he doesn't have enough scythes in the wall to do the damage you need. Well, he's going to kill a whole bunch of villagers. But yeah, these heavy catapults are going to be a bit of an issue at this point. Deletes part of the wall to let the catapults out. Might be a bit of a mistake. Well, that is actually pretty much the entirety of Saymayname's chariots there. The last couple of chariots will be picked off. Campbell's come forward though. Unrestricted, potentially out of position with the catapults. He is going to lose just the one though. And a massive hit on the chariot archers. A whole bunch of those go down in one swoop. Again, I feel like Saymyname just, yeah, there we go, finally queues up a whole bunch of scythe chariots. I feel like that was a little bit delayed getting those going. Priests are trying to convert the catapults. It does get one conversion in. Elephants, obviously quite tanky, will resist a decent amount of the catapult fire. Scythe chariots flooding forward now. Like I said, I feel like Saymyname should have maybe made a few more scythes earlier. I guess maybe he was at full pop and that was just the reason. But yeah, towers, again, just sort of defending. Most of the catapults getting taken down now. Only 6 left. Another conversion coming out. See if he converts this catapult here. There we go. Manages to steal that one. So the addition of the priests actually working out pretty well. Obviously those Egyptian priests with the extra bonus range anyway. fight still fairly even. Another 10 heavy catapults out in the field. Unrestricted with much more resources to keep the side chariot numbers pumping. Elephant archers may be the addition that helps Saymyname just hold the line though. Side chariot versus side chariot facing off one-on-one. Mono a mono. Again, the Egyptian chariots I feel like should just have the edge here, and yeah, Saymyname starting to clear house. The flood of Egyptian chariots coming forward. It's going to be a little bit awkward to push through the towers. No stone throwers left for Saymyname, so these towers are going to be a little bit awkward. Chariot archers managing to hold the line for the time being. Absolute bloodbath in the middle. But Saymyname slowly pushing forward with the ballista towers and elephant archers. And just the scythe spam in front. And plenty of gold left to keep that going. He wants to just keep adding those elephants in. A few heavy catapults at the back here. But again, heavy catapults not that effective against elephants with just how tanky they are. Most of the scythe chariots are down though for Saymyname. I guess just the ballista towers, or just guard tower, sorry, from Unrestricted, doing a good amount of damage holding. Saymyname going to be forced back again. But Saymyname has already set up a whole bunch of ballista towers. That said though, 17 heavy catapults now. Unrestricted will be able to clear this. Scythe chariots being massed up again. Saymyname does actually have the villager lead now. Guess a few villagers maybe got caught off in the crossfire there. Elephant archers again trying to push forward. Priest trying to pick off a few conversions on the catapults. There we go. Gets 4 conversions there. Manages to take out a couple of catapults with a shot as well. Yeah, Saymyname just not really able to get the massive units he needs to push through these towers. And the Egyptian lack of decent siege really hurting Saymyname here. So again, he's pushed a little bit back. A few more of the towers drop down. Still 11 heavy catapults for Unrestricted. Going to help him push through these ballistas. And yeah, Saymyname just needs to try and get those massive scythes back up again. I think this may be a thing of if Unrestricted tries to push forward outside of his guard towers though, that then the fight just swings back either way. This might be a little bit of a stalemate here. But yeah, good amount of resources still left for Saymyname now. Starting to run out of gold a little bit. I don't know if gold has all been... It looks like there is no gold left on the map. It's just mining the stone on the right there. You see another engage though. See if we can pick off a lot of the catapults. Quite a few of them going down. Down to 9. Another good push from Saymyname. Again, it's just neither player can really push into each other's line of towers without facing massive losses. Priest, I guess, yeah, +6 range. Oh, it does get a massive hit with a catapult though. Takes down all the priests. That was a really nice snipe from Unrestricted. But yeah, again, the elephant archers holding strong at the back. But Saymyname just not able to get the number of scythe chariots he needs to push through and punish those heavy catapults at the back. Seems a little bit limited for food at timing. I think he needs to put a lot of more of his lumberjacks onto farms. I mean, he does have 80 farms. When you're flooding from this many production buildings. In fact, he's got 40 in queue at only 3 stables? What's going on there? I don't know if that's a capture age bug or if Saymyname isn't properly... Oh, he's at the pop cap. Okay, that was confusing me there. And I think Saymyname probably needs to just delete a whole bunch of his lumberjacks just to get more space for military units here. He's got 72 chariots in queue, nearly 7,000 wood. He's got more than enough wood at this point. Just needs to get those units out on the table. Down to 20 units, 30, but then massive pump in the next. Unrestricted pumping from 8 siege workshops. I've no idea how he's managed to afford these heavy catapults for this long. The gold is starting to run out now for Unrestricted. Another conversion of a heavy catapult. Again, the elephants, archers just doing a good job of holding the line for Saymyname, preventing Unrestricted from really pushing out from his base. Slab chariots will take down the converted the catapult. And everything goes quiet for a brief moment. A lot of these elephant archers, very low health though. A couple of priests could be good, not even for conversion, just for healing at this point. And Saymyname is going to be forced to pull back now. And yeah, 201 villagers. I think Saymayname's gone a little bit too much on the eco side here. It's really throttling the number of military units you can put out on the field. 61 to 40 now. And over an hour of game time at this point. This game has gone a bit ridiculous. Priests are trying to heal. Unrestricted decides to try and pounce though. Good number of side chariots. Again though, the ballista towers going to be able to do work. Cut down the numbers. Heavy catapults not had time to come forward to take down the towers. A couple of big hits, and yeah, most of the elephant archers still up and running. 148 side chariots in queue for Saymyname. I don't know if he did delete a bunch of villagers because he's now down to 180. I don't know if Unrestricted caught a few off. I don't know. I didn't see any side raids. I think Saymyname must have just deleted a bunch there. Well, that said, maybe he didn't. Maybe they did just cut out. I don't know if that implies in the eco deaths if you delete units. Heavy catapults do take down the ballista towers now though. Unrestricted now given a little bit more space to try and push out from his base. Side chariots trying to cut in to the catapults at the back. There's quite a few there that he could have taken advantage of, but Unrestricted literally just with the numbers advantage here. Elephant archers firing away at the back. 97 unit kills between these elephants. Sides pushing forward again for Saymyname. And heavy catapult numbers now dwindling. Only 5 left. See them all on the screen here. I think the elephant archers have definitely got their value in this game. Again, Saymyname. Now it feels like he's got the advantage in terms of the number of scythes. And only 2 heavy catapults left, only 645 gold left for Unrestricted. But Unrestricted's done a very good job of keeping himself alive for this long. Like I said, I would have thought just the stronger Egyptian side chariots would have done the work by now. But Unrestricted's really made Saymyname work for this. There we go again. Actually, that said, Unrestricted has managed to build himself back up to 57 chariots again. Kind of maybe cut off the fight. Flank on the side there. We see a big fight in the middle again. And I think now the Egyptian side chariots will just show their strength. But I said, Unrestricted still able to try and keep numbers pumping. Towers, guard towers still holding the line. Back at the base. You can see here, 900 units nearly killed by Unrestricted. No, sorry, by Saymyname. Ah yes, good spot, Bob. I was focusing on the front there. And yeah, so the eco being chewed into on the side now. So that was good heads up play by Saymyname. sneak a few scythes in the back there. Yeah, it's on the community patch. Although we've not really done any changes to these two civs in the community patch. In fact, we haven't really done any. But yeah. Few just kills in the back. It looks like, sorry, Unrestricted has been able to stop that now. Unrestricted trying to hold the lines at the front. I think, is that a gate there that's just open? Yeah. And the towers again doing good work holding the line. It's just, I don't know if either player is actually going to be able to push in here. It feels like Saymyname just has the stronger chariots, but he doesn't have a unit. There's just a lack of decent siege from the Egyptians. It's made it so he couldn't really push through the tower line. 6 heavy catapults as Unrestricted uses the last of his gold to get a bit of power on the field. Elephant Archer numbers down to only 10 now. Saymyname basically out of gold himself now as well. He's actually open on the top side there. And Unrestricted has managed to kind of re-wall back up again. And I don't really know how Saymyname actually... Ooh, unless Unrestricted just lets him in, that would be very unfortunate. I don't really know how Saymyname cracks the base now. Yeah, they do. They are affected by ballistics. But they fire so slowly that like they can't really follow their target anyway. It's like they in theory fire where the unit would have moved to, but Unres could try to raid with scythes, but it's like it's always difficult. He's been on the edge of like getting pushed through for the past half an hour now. I think Unrestricted just has the numbers here though. Again, Saymyname just hasn't really been able to get himself up to max pop. Unrestricted has done a much better job of filling his population space, and he absolutely cleans up there now. But the pump is strong. 180 chariots still in queue. And yeah, some of the catapults getting picked up again, only 3 left. Feels like finally, there we go, yeah, finally Saymyname reaching that pop limit with his scythes. Again though, I'm not entirely sure how he cracks through. I think there is a gap in the wall there. It's a very small one. Guard towers providing, well, they've killed 70 units and that's dealt 10,800 damage done by these towers. That's quite a lot of damage. Yeah, a little raid. He's just trying to punch through the walls. It's not an actual raid. But Unrestricted has walled up. He's got a couple of villagers trapped inside the walls there. And Unrestricted is going to come round and punish this. But yeah, Saymyname. I think he's going to struggle to get in. And I don't know if this one goes to we just have to resolve it with a coin flip in chat in the Discord later, as it kind of feels like we're in a little bit of a stalemate situation. Unrestricted doesn't really have the units powerful enough to push Unrestricted back, Saymyname back. Saymyname doesn't have the siege to crack open Unrestricted's base. A couple of last catapults leaving Unrestricted on 5 gold. 11,000 food for Saymyname. But yeah, these Babylonians fortified walls. I don't know how Saymyname really ever cracks that open. He kind of needs to add in stone throwers, but as long as Unrestricted does have heavy catapults, it's fairly easy for him to defend against those. Saymyname hasn't made any siege in quite a while now. It feels like Saymyname has control of the open ground, as he has done for most of this game. Is there a little gap in the wall? I don't even know what's going on here. I guess this is the, yeah, this is the gate and the one little tile hole there. And it's just full scythes. Well, actually unrestricted, that said, trying to add in a few chariot archers as well. Chariot archers don't feel like they're going to do too much at this point. Restricted did actually get a guard tower out front. There's actually a couple of stone piles I've not noticed this entire time there. Yeah, the Egyptian scythe chariots again, just chewing through. Bonus HP. Making them very tough for Unrestricted to just deal with. Oh yeah, a few elephant archers have been added in. I think some resources were sold by probably by Saymyname. Though he did have about 400 gold at one point. I did look. I think he's been selling a few resources here and there. But the elephant archers have been doing a good job this game. But again, they're not going to help him break through the base. And I mean, there's still plenty of wood left on the map, so we're not going to be running out of resources anytime soon. 1 hour 20 on the game timer. Elephant archers just being kited back just to keep out of the way. Big flank coming out on the left side here. And we're going to see another engage again. Unrestricted, looks like he's trying to kite back to the safety of his... He's just going to take the fight underneath the range of the guard towers here. I think with the elephant archers, Saymyname should be able to take this fight again. Look at these idle TC times, 4.5 hours. Obviously those are meaningless at this point, but it's just kind of funny, just from how long the game's been going on. But yeah, 230 chariots still in queue for Saymyname. Now it's just, like I said, he was struggling to hit that pop cap before, but now he's being, that's the only thing really limiting him now. But again, there's just no way Saymyname really has to crack the walls open. He's trying to hope for an overchop by the looks of it. If I was Unrestricted, I'd maybe even just delete this storage pit here and just make sure I just cut into this area here. And he's managed to rustle up another 5 heavy catapults, which have been doing a good job of holding against Saymyname's siege, and it did get that big massive hit on those group of priests earlier on as well. But yeah, it's just the ridiculousness of the Babylonian walls. It's just making this feel a little bit impossible for Saymyname again. And a couple of elephant archers get taken down by the heavy catapults. Scythes a little bit, there we go, it does move them out of the way in time. And so here we are, 168, 167 on the eco, 83 to 80 on the unit count. Saymyname on 19,000 wood, 10,000 food. Unrestricted building up the resources again now that it's been a little bit of a ceasefire. I mean, you could try it. I feel like they just get absolutely splattered by those catapults. It's an interesting idea. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, with the heavy catapults, you can chop your way through. So Unrestricted could go for like a little sneaky push through the side here. So very hard to think of that strategy in the moment when it's been so close. Like I said, it's been a little bit of a timeout, and Unrestricted is probably able to get some good damage on the farms here. If he does decide to dive, the towers, looks like he's just going to focus the towers down, in fact. And triple artifacts just being kited around there. Villagers now do go for a run. And here come the chariot archers of Saymyname. Obviously the elephant archers not going to be as quick to be able to join the fight. And probably going to be able to get the flank round on the chariot archers here. Big engage again. I think Saymyname should be able to get fight in his favour again here. And again, Unrestricted has plenty of resources to replace the numbers. Yeah, pretty one-sided affair. Like I said, you can see the power of the Egyptian and Scythe chariots. And obviously I've been repeating myself quite a bit. This game's been going for quite long, but again, just feels like Saymyname has no way of cracking the base for the time being. He has, okay, sold a whole bunch of resources. He's researching fortified wall, finally, an hour and a half in. Sneaking a few stone throwers, but again, Unrestricted has the heavy catapults left in the back. And you can see both players selling resources at an exchange rate of 10 to 1. 400 wood sold for 40 gold. And like I said, that's little last bit of stone still there for anyone brave enough to try and take that. But yeah, like I said, still an absolute buttload of wood, 63k wood left. So the stalemate continues. 30k wood. I mean, at that point, that's essentially the equivalent of 3k gold if he sells pretty much all of that. But again, one of the downsides of the Egyptians is they don't really have any good units outside of the Scythe chariot. Obviously, the Elephant Archer is still a decent unit, but it doesn't have any bonuses for the Egyptians. Like I said, Saymyname just trying to get a little bit of siege out on the field, but it's going to be tough. I think he's going to need more than 2 stone throwers to crack the base open. And he's managing to get a few hits. This side hit, big hits by the heavy catapults though. Yeah, the heavy catapult range 15 to only the 12 range with engineering in. And Semifinal has to work hard to keep this unit alive. Again, the CA is a little bit funky with where the boulders go. I tend to find priests being added in again, probably to try and convert the catapults, as has been the case. In fact, Saymyname has actually walled up the side of the map now to try and prevent some raids. So obviously, it's still open in the hordes of stables that are covering the map. How many stables have we got here? 39 stables on the map. Still 195 chariots in queue. And that stone thrower still being kept alive at the side here. Might see another bit of a fight take place in the middle of the map. Unrestricted trying to get on top of Saymayname's Elephant Archers. Might actually be able to do so here. See the sort of splash damage. Getting a good amount of damage done, but Saymaname's side chariots are just going to be able to clean house again. Most of the Elephant Archers survive, though they are massively weakened now. Does make them a lot more vulnerable to a potential volley of heavy catapult fire. I think, where did that stone thrower go? Where are the stone throwers? I think he must have lost one. Unless there's 2 in the siege workshops here, and I can't see where the other one was. There is a 3rd one somewhere. I don't see it just... Oh, okay. Overchop. We're in. Like I said, I feel like if I was Unrestricted, I would have deleted that storage pit there to just encourage villagers to come across. Unrestricted does have the stone to try and re-wall up here. He does have the units to come. Saymyname just trying to pounce on the opportunity though. 140 HP on the wall. Saymyname is going to try and batter this down. Get the numbers in. Wall, oh, sorry, the gate goes down. Saymyname a little bit distracted. Doesn't look like he wants to dive through. Not exactly sure what to try. I guess he's maybe waiting for the elephants to come forward. In theory, Magma, Unrestricted does manage to walk behind though. Ooh, and the Elephant Archers are a little bit exposed. And Heavy Catapult can be able to do a good amount of DPS. And Saymyname, I don't think that's open. Unrestricted managing to plug the gap. And a few Elephant Archers go down. Heavy Catapult exposed though. Will get taken out, excuse me. A couple of priests might get caught out the side. But yeah, it was a little momentary glimmer of a chance at victory for Saymyname there. But Saymyname slams the door shut once again. And we're back to the neutral position. Little raids coming through, but again, Saymyname has units. Okay, there we go. There's that stone thrower right at the back there. Yeah, 6 heavy catapults up again for Unrestricted. Going to help him hold the lines. And, I don't know, Saymyname probably scratching his head a bit as to what to do now. Feels like you kind of just have to commit, sell a bunch of wood, try and get some more stone throwers out, and just try and crack a hole somewhere. Saymyname, yeah, his unit's a little bit out of position, but he's bringing reinforcements in now. Unrestricted. A few of his scythes getting a little bit stuck on the wall there. Looks like, yeah, one of the units is kind of trapped in there, or blocking the gateway, I should say. There we go. Unrestricted unclogs that. And Heavy Catapult's going to be able to get a few good hits probably in. Looks like those ones went a little bit wide. Again, these Egyptian scythe chariots, 184 HP. Have to take a few hits to be taken down even by Heavy Catapults. Another little raid here by Unrestricted. And Saymyname potentially might have a chance. He's still actually completely open on this left side. And looks like Saymyname is just kind of pull back from the fight for the time being. Get away from the catapults and the towers. Just make sure he defends from the little raid for the time being. 51,000 wood. I'm starting to feel like we should have put a time limit on the games potentially, as we're approaching the 2-hour mark at this point. See another big engage. There's a lot of chariot archers at the back now. Chariot archers do only do 5 damage though, so they're not. Damage output's not particularly outstanding. Another couple of catapults get taken down as well. Obviously, it's much easier for the chariot archers to actually get their damage being effective in terms of actually getting attacking. Sometimes the melee units stumble over each other a little bit trying to get to their targets. But again, both plays essentially with infinite resources for chariots. Another catapult is going to get taken down. Still only 1 stone throw of Saymyname. So again, I don't really feel he has the means to break through. A couple of chariot archers going to be sniping off some villagers though. Unrestricted buying the stone. Oh, actually looks like he managed to collect some of that stone there. Got some stone to build another tower there. I don't know how this game ever finishes, ladies and gentlemen. We've been watching for an hour and 40 in-game minutes. Oh yeah, they are slowly chopping through. I think it was Yeti that said earlier, potentially, Unrestricted could cut through here with catapults. So then it's like, who's exposing who at that point is the question. I guess if Unrestricted walled behind it and then chopped through, that could work. But yeah, Saymyname just looking for an overchop again. It's not going to find it. Just going to attack the wall for the time being. Heavy catapults are just in the centre of the map for the time being. We're going to see a little bit of a clear up from Unrestricted. But they might get trapped and forced into another fight. But again, all these units feel like they're just expendable at this point. Saymyname. What is Saymyname doing at the moment? He's not really trying to switch anything up by the looks of it. Saymyname probably just wants to go to bed at this point. Yeah, it's kind of weird because like there was a point earlier where it felt like Unrestricted was getting run down for resources, but he's just Saymyname took his foot off the gas pedal, and Unrestricted essentially has all the resources he'll ever need as well now. Yeah, the problem is it's just so easy to replace the 5 chariots for either player. So like one big push probably won't be enough. Like with this many stables and archery ranges on the field, it's just very easy to just replace all those units straight away. Again, it feels like Saymyname should just be taking the fights, as Bongo said. He has the stronger scythe chariot. He has more resources. Unrestricted's the only real advantage is the catapults and the fact he's got these towers set up, holding his opponent out from breaking into his eco. Some knights. We don't have knights in AOE1, and Egyptians can't build cavalry either, which is the AOE1 equivalent. A few elephant archers getting picked off though by the big mass of chariot archers that Unrestricted has. And again, I'm not really sure what Saymyname is so afraid of. Maybe this is a deliberate ploy to just try and pull Unrestricted into the middle of the map, and then he's just going to go for a big flank. Now the catapults are still safe at home. Elephant archers not really numerous enough to get too much damage done. You can see just a number of chariot archers able to whip through, but now we get the flank in at the back. Saymyname just trying to get in on the chariot archers by the looks of it. Heavy catapults pulled in to commission. Ooh, Unrestricted just annihilated a whole bunch of his own chariots there. Big hit. Alright, yeah, the actual cavalry. Oh, you were questioning the cavalry click. I guess that's what you meant. Again, Saymyname just not able to push through the tower line. What damage are we on for the towers now? Let's have a look. Damage update. 14,000 damage by those towers. What do we do here if the game if we're going for like another hour? Yeah, oh, there we go. How has neither player noticed that? How has neither player noticed? Okay, Saymyname has noticed. He's preparing. Okay, Unrestricted has noticed. Ooh. Oh yeah, and there we go. Unrestricted, walling it up. And heavy catapult. Gonna have to push this back. So what looked like potentially was going to be a little bit of action is immediately being stifled. Unrestricted needs to be careful it doesn't chop open here though. You can see the chariot archers, or hear the chariot archers I should say. I mean, potentially Unrestricted could just delete a wall section and dive in. So, okay, Saymyname is walling up behind this. And Saymyname wrapping round again for another battle in the middle. Nearly 2,000 kills. Trying to dive forward to grab these exposed catapults. Losing a lot of scythes, but it's obviously worth it. There's a lot of gold invested into those catapults. Back down to 1. Number 8 in queue though. You can see Unrestricted just selling off the resources. And Saymyname again just chewing through. Ooh, maybe a couple of sides. No, guard towers are going to deal with those. Yeah, that's true. Down to 117 vills now. I don't know if those... I think Saymyname did pick a few villagers off with a couple of chariot archers on this side earlier, but yeah, it looks like maybe Unrestricted did delete to make space. And yeah, you can just get the higher weight of numbers on the field. Potentially that could tilt it in his favour. Has plenty of resources to keep a pump going. Obviously, Saymyname does have more resources though. So, Restricted going for a big fight now. Does have double the military. Saymyname with 200 chariots in queue. So going for a little bit of a Hail Mary. Well, it's not really a Hail Mary when he's got this many resources in bank, but versus the number of resources Saymyname has. But yeah, the Elephant Archers are doing a good job of just holding the back line, preventing the numbers from switching too much in favour of Unrestricted here. Number 8 catapults going to try to come out on the field. Unrestricted still over 100 units. Getting a little bit clogged up in the base. Again, the gate kind of bottlenecking the units. Saymyname not matching the military count for the time being, so maybe this was the play. Just free up the space, just get more military on the ground. Obviously, if Saymyname can just hold for the time being, and Unrestricted can't keep the push going forward, and again, Saymyname just trying to punish the catapults. It's so hard to protect those units. Saymyname managing to pick off half of those. Few catapults remain though. And again, both players pretty much at pop cap, but the Elephant Archer's doing the extra damage. Saymyname needs to hold the line. There's so many more units here for Unrestricted now though. A little flank from the back though. Can be able to pick up the catapults. Down they go. Unrestricted chewing through the front line. Elephant Archer still at the back, firing away. And you can see the absolute huge amount of units in queue from both players. Unrestricted is managing to push forward to a certain extent. But yeah, Saymyname back up to max pop again. And again, he does just have the stronger scythe chariot. Just having a quick look back over. Yeah, both players did just fully wall up and abandon that side. Going to chop wood on this side. That's the action in the middle though. And we have surpassed the 2k barrier for Saymyname at this point. Nearly at 2 hours of in-game time. Unrestricted under 10k wood. I was going to say it's starting to run out, but that's just simply not true. Couple of scythes. Maybe Saymyname should be able to stop that. And yeah, 83, 84 kills by these Elephant Archers. Catapults coming forward, just trying to get hits on these elephants though. Those elephants are tanky boys. A handful of them go down. Restricted still in the 4 catapults. One stuck in the base back here. and I'm just letting the madness unfold. I don't know if there's much more I can say that hasn't been said at this point. Yeah, he should have deleted a few more villages a while back, that's for sure. I don't know if that really would have made... I still don't think he can crack the base is the problem. But like, obviously he has way too much wood now. Like... And yeah. Now you can see the wood is starting to dwindle bit by bit for Unrestricted now. Although now, as soon as I say that, it goes, oh, there we go. Just put a whole bunch more villagers back onto wood. Looks like he swapped some off. I mean, he can just start adding villagers back in if he wants to as well. But my voice is getting very... my throat feels a little bit raw now. Yeah, 12,000 food left for Saymyname, so potentially should put a bunch of these lumberjacks back onto food just to sort of balance that eco out a bit more. Yeah, BRB 1 hour, I think I might still be here. Bongo. Stable, though, I don't even know when that got put up by Unrestricted, but that gets very quickly taken down. Let's have a look. So, still got plenty of wood left for both players. That's still that one stone thrower. Oh, it's okay. He's right around this side. Has been trying to... Ooh, not too far forward, Saymyname. And do we see a catapult being pulled round? Yes, we do. And I don't think this is going to get broken through anytime soon. Out in the middle again. Elephant archers still in support. One cavalry unit somewhere in the mix. He's in there, if you can spot him. Heavy catapults holding the line. Feels like Saymyname hadn't really commanded his units to go in there because half of them are just chilling. Yeah, he pulls them back. Maybe the brain power sort of slipping out a little bit as this game does cross the 2 hour in-game mark. The focus starting to wane. And, okay, looks like Unrestricted risked putting up another couple of gates just to make it so his units could get out more easily. Another big battle takes place. Yeah, you can just see the HP advantage of the Egyptians. I guess part of that's just because the elephants actually, to be fair. Yeah, 80k wood. 230 scythe chariots in queue. One stone thrower is going to get splattered. There it goes. So that was Saymayname's one stone thrower that he had in an attempt to push through the walls. Yeah, Saymyname does just keep checking to see. Oh, is he through? Is he overchopped? Looks like if he had Unrestricted covered it off. Though he is close to chopping through here as well. Scythe chart. Oh yeah, doesn't actually see it, to be fair. I always think scythe chariots have a bigger line of sight than they actually do. I always like to forget how short it is. Yeah, Unrestricted needs to be a little careful with all these gates that he doesn't accidentally let Saymyname in. But again, all the guard towers holding the line. But Unrestricted needs to be careful on this side here. He doesn't let the units through. Still 4 heavy catapults out for Unrestricted. Whoa! Boys and girls. does it ever end? Both players basically at max pop again. Unrestricted down. He did have about 20k food at one point. So I think he rebalanced his eco mood a lot back to wood, so I think he probably needs to put a few back on farms again. Let me see a little chariot archer raid here. There's only the one ballista tower defending for Saymyname, and like I said, he has been pretty much completely open this whole time, by the fact that he's got a massive army in the middle of the map. Elephant Archer's just picking off a few stray units at the front there. And there we go. A little bit of an overchop there. A handful of scythes go in. And a whole lot more coming round. And maybe this is the lapse in attention from Unrestricted that Saymyname needed. And that's a whole flood of scythe chariots in. Unrestricted does have a whole bunch of units here. Heavy catapult. Going to get a few good hits as Saymyname not paying attention. I feel like maybe should just be ignoring that tower for the time being. Scythe chariots do get in. Unrestricted is probably going to be able to respond to this though. And the problem with this is that Saymyname isn't going to have to be able to apply multiple points of pressure. So even though he's through here, he's going to grab a few eco kills. Restricted actually all the way down to 90 eco now. Saymyname still isn't going to be able to push in. So I think Unrestricted will still hold here. And if he wants, he can just add in villagers again. And I don't know if he re-walled. It's kind of hard, a little bit hard to tell. Maybe at this point, maybe it gets to a point where Unrestricted can fight on, but he just decides it isn't worth it anymore. Maybe we see a GG call because of that. But yeah, scythe chariots. I think pretty much all of them have been cleared up now. And there goes that attempt. Unrestricted, yep, building his eco back up to over 100 vills again. And yeah, switched those villagers back onto farms. As the food numbers were starting to dwindle in a relative sense. And only one catapult left, so I guess those few that were in the open there must have got caught out. Last heavy catapult here. See another big fight in the middle. Elephant Archers, as has been the case all game, being the absolute core. Holding Saymyname in. I mean, Saymyname probably could do that, is the thing. If he hadn't been, if he balanced his eco out a bit more, he probably could have done that. And he would have been able to just flood scythe chariots for like the next 20 minutes. But again, I just don't see how he breaks the walls. It's just the biggest problem. And again, Unrestricted sold resources in order to buy some more siege. Scythe chariots are trying to work their way through, but a handful of chariot archers are going to hold the position. A couple of elephant archers as well, and again, yeah, Saymyname is just trying to crack through anywhere he can now. And it looks like Saymyname must have deleted some villagers himself at some point. I guess there was, actually that might be in the little chariot archer raid, might have picked up a few villagers and Saymyname has just not replaced those. And Saymyname now approaching the 3,000 kill mark, unbelievably. Heavy catapult again, trying to get some good hits in against the elephant archers. Huge wave of scythe chariots on the flank. These scythe chariots here are slowly chewing their way through the wall. Very, very slowly. Yeah, heavy catapults holding position though. And again, we return to the stalemate state. Saymyname trying to switch that up. He is gradually working his way through here. Another row walls comes in though. So that strategy goes down the plug hole. What to do, what to do. I mean, Saymyname could try and stone throw through this wall here. Try and sell a bunch of his wood. Get some stone throw it. Just like, yeah, get like 4 or 5 stone throwers and just in one go pop through the wall. Again though, it's Unrestricted has 120 military. Has the numbers to respond. Oh man, and I was hoping to eat sometime this evening. As the stream has been going on for over 3 hours now. As this game 6 is really going the distance. It's the problem when the gold runs out, you just don't have the power units. Well, and it's just the Egyptians just don't have the siege. Yeah, maybe I could just like leave this running and just leave the camera like here, and you probably see most of the action. Saymyname trying, yeah, he's just looking, trying to find any point of weakness. Like I said, from God's eye view. Okay, we just see another big engage. But yeah, just 54 Scythes on the flank here. To fight their way through. These Scythes might be able to reach their way to the Elephant Archers. And it looks like Saymyname has sold resources to make some more Elephant Archers. Catapults are now going to go down. I think that's the first time I've seen Unrestricted on 0 heavy catapults for quite some time. He's down to 6k food now. Obviously all this time Saymyname is saving a vast amount of wood on all the Egyptian farms as well. Which is also probably partly why he's got so much wood. Don't know what that villager was doing there, but that villager is now deceased. And I don't know what's going on here either. Unrestricted, very close to chopping through again though. In fact, that looks open to me. Again, Saymyname. Just regrouping, I guess, just trying to get his Elephant Archers in position. Just going to try and punish on this left flank. The problem is the Scythes are so quick that they can be pretty quick to the to help out and support that. Yeah, the Chariot Archers obviously not really much a match for the Elephant Archers, and a lot of these Elephant Archers are quite damaged. Yeah, it does make sense to move away from the guard tower position, but again, it's going to be difficult for Saymyname to actually break through the walls. When he's continuously winning the fights. And like I said, he has the stronger chariots and the assistance of the Elephant Archers doing a lot of damage as well. But just cracking the shell is what he's not been able to do for some time now. The capture rate is starting to get a little bit laggy. Yeah, Saymyname trying to refocus the position of the attack. Maybe Saymyname could have considered just adding in the War Elephant to just try and batter down some of the walls. It would be quite tough for Unrestricted to deal with those units. See another big battle. The couple of heavy catapults have been mustered up again. No, Egyptians don't get armoured elephant. They just get the regular war elephant. But they do a decent amount of damage to defences, so they're kind of like a little bit like a battering ram to a certain extent. And yeah, we had a big tool fight in the open game. We had a lot of bronze fighting, both players going chariots, and we've been in the Iron Age for some time now. Yeah, the resources are starting to get a little bit low for Unrestricted, so we may finally be seeing the end. As Unrestricted might not be able to keep the reinforcements coming. Saymyname's had, he's over 100,000 wood at this point. Dare I look? Over 500,000 resources collected, nearly by both players. Crazy. I've seen long games on Citadels. I don't think I've seen one quite like this though. And this is obviously one of the advantages of just having being a good Scythe chariot civ. Is as long as you've got the wood to keep the supply going, you can basically just spam this unit to infinity. Couple of catapults getting a few good hits in again. And Saymyname backing off is going to give Unrestricted a little bit of chance to get resources back up again. But yeah, at this point Saymyname should just kind of just be flooding units forward. And like, I get he doesn't want to just like go into the tower fire, but he can basically infinitely make Scythe chariots at this point. He's decided to throw a handful of them on the way there. He's trying to work his way through, but Unrestricted's going to put that to bed. One stone thrower being made by Saymyname. Like I said, if you just got a handful of stone throwers, maybe you could just crack through here. Maybe that's the way to go. Again, Saymyname doesn't see what we see. Another big battle. Saymyname just trying to flank around the back of these chariot archers. Couple of big stone thrower shots, going to take down a couple of elephants. Restricted has much more numbers again on the field. Again, there's 22 elephant archers. Pretty tough for the Scythe chariots to break through. You can see there's a slightly staggered formation as well, reduce the effect of the splash damage from the chariots. And yeah, Unrestricted puts his stables all back into production. Gets the numbers back up again. Is instantly back up to pretty much full pop once more. Catapults trying to get another few good hits in. These elephant archers are quite low health now. Again, Saymyname dives forward, takes down a couple of catapults. Unrestricted selling resources just to try and keep the catapult supply going. And he is on the limit now of resources. Like I said, maybe this just reaches a point where Unrestricted just taps out. Even though I think, like I said, I think he could probably hold for a long time if he wanted to. We might just realise that he's never really going to crack his enemy's base. Then again, obviously the series is over if Unrestricted loses. Yes, still going. It's just one big Scythe chariot smashing into it. Another big blob of Scythe chariots over and over again. Slow rest. Ooh, okay. Saymyname got in. Why would you not just sit in the gate? Why would you not just sit in the gate there? I guess, I don't know. Why would you not just try and take advantage of that? Saymyname must know that he has like an absolutely huge, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just assumes Unrestricted is on the basically the same resources as him. Yeah, I'm waiting a bit. I think you can probably hear it. My voice is getting a bit rusty now. There's only so much I can say about just chariot archers just slamming into chariot archers. So I'm gonna have a look just to see if there's any sneaky plays. Just a few chariot archers. I'm just gonna get picked off. Okay, stone thrower. Just just one stone thrower, and Unrestricted is just gonna wall up behind that. Why not just get a handful of stone throwers out? Yep. I mean, how much wood have we got left on the map? 164k. Restricted dove forward to just take out that stone thrower there. Like I said, Saymyname needs to like mass up a handful at least of those stone throwers for it to do anything. Because with like 4 or 5 stone throwers you can break through a wall pretty quickly. You need to do that all in one go though, to not give your opponent the chance to respond. The game continues. Saymyname again, just letting Unrestricted have a little bit more breathing room. We're going to see a little bit of a raid from Unrestricted now. I mean, it feels like Unrestricted is trying to get more done than Saymyname is, but he just doesn't have the position to really do it. Well, it's very, very rare that a game goes this long, but possibly we should set up a game limit of like maybe an hour and a half or something like that. It's like there's a couple of games in this series, one of them only went to 12 minutes and the game was over. Whereas this one has gone very much longer than that. So Unrestricted is going to be able to take out a few of the farmers, but Saymyname can afford to lose villagers at this point. Another storage pit going up. Just the one heavy catapult in the back here. Saymyname trying to go straight through to it, and he will do so. Yeah, it feels like Saymyname. Okay, finally, 5 stone throws in the queue. I was going to say, I feel like Saymyname just doesn't have an idea of what to go for now, but it looks like he's finally going to add in those stone throwers in a decent number. No, don't attack with it yet. Just hold it back. Just wait to mass a few of them up. I mean, maybe Unrestricted's distracted enough. In fact, he doesn't have any heavy catapults to respond, but you can quite easily send a bunch of scythes over to come and punish this. So again, Saymyname should really just keep these in the back defended, because yeah, I think these are just going to go down. Yeah, they deliberately made them harsh in AOE1 just so that like it didn't. They didn't want to upset the balance of late game too much. It's just there as like a desperate option. The thing that's a bit odd about Age of Empires 1 is just like the Scythe Chariot is actually a very strong unit. and it's like it's equivalent in AOE2 is basically like the Hussar, but the side turret's much stronger than a Hussar is, relatively. And the gate is open. Unrestricted. Saymyname. I'm losing my brain now. Does dive in this time. It hasn't really got enough units in. Have the stone throwers managed to break through? Not just yet. Just a couple of stone throwers still. Unrestricted. Able to walk behind this. He's buying stone in order to build these walls. So this is going to cost him. One villager is going to be left out in the cold. Goodbye, villager. You've served your purpose well. Unrestricted, still trying to hold the line on the front here with these guard towers. Stone throwers have now punched a hole, which instantly gets closed. Actually, I think that was a wall deleted by Unrestricted, actually. Where are these stone throwers going? He's just trying to pull them away from the scythe so they don't get taken out. And bloodbath continues. We're now closing in at nearly 4k kills for Saymyname. Yeah, no, Unrestricted is now on the limit, as Bongo pointed out. Oh yeah, that's true, I forgot about the Hussar, winged Hussar splash damage. That's a very good comparison. Maybe now. Maybe this is Saymyname's time with his just ridiculous weight of resources to just crush down. Unrestricted. Still has quite a few chariots in queue. The food is starting to run out. Chariots are still going to be able to pick off these stone throwers, though, so Saymyname is still not going to be able to break through the wall. Saymyname still needs to continue the assault, though. Otherwise, Unrestricted is going to be able to maybe get back the eco back up again. Yeah, just a little time to regroup. Stone thrower out again. But again, it's just very easy to just run like 10 or so scythe chariots at a catapult to just snipe it. And here we go again. Hold the line, take them down, Legolas! No, down it goes. 4 HP on that wall. I don't know why he's hitting this one, it's behind a tree anyway. Like, it doesn't even help if he destroys that wall. I think there's a villager in the mix there. Don't know what he's doing. Just chilling. He's not chilling no longer. Oh, he does survive. Ooh, does he? No, down he goes. And Zealotry. Zealotry, researched by Saymyname. Maybe we see the villagers come forward to try and batter down the walls. Saymyname, like I said, has been on plenty of resources for some time now. See a few blinking lights here. So some of the scythes. There is a heavy catapult ready to receive, though. Yeah, Zealotry tech in. It doesn't look. I'm not seeing any villager movements. Saymyname trying to chop through the wood. That seems a bit of a counterintuitive strategy to try and chop through the wood and research Zealotry. Because it does slow down your resource gather rate when you go for Zealotry, but anyway. I was expecting like a big villager push. Or maybe try to smack down some walls. I don't know if Egyptians get siegecraft. Of course, it doesn't show the stone upgrades here for the extra damage against defences for Vils. Going to take down this storage pit that for some reason Unrestricted really doesn't want to be in the game anymore. And, the storage pit's in the corner, being caught by Unrestricted there. And we're now approaching the 3-hour mark. Yeah. But yeah, the wood on this side of the map is basically all gone now. And it's starting to thin out in the rest of the map. Saymyname has actually at some point walled this all up. I didn't notice when that happened, but it has been done. Though again, there is actually a small hole in the wall just here. Looks like Saymyname is probably just going to try. Seems a little bit risky. Like the heavy catapults can just kill all these chariot archers. Okay. Just managed to take one of the heavy catapults down. One villager still chopping away. And again, Saymyname gives Unrestricted a little moment to recover. There's not really much more commentary I can do on this game. I think we're just waiting for one of the players to just lose focus and make a colossal error, really. One stone thrower plinking away at the walls. Maybe maybe Unrestricted is distracted enough that he doesn't notice it this time. Stone thrower is going to be met by the heavy catapult though. As soon as Unrestricted remembers. Oi oi oi! I mean, Unrestricted is getting to the point. I mean, yeah, he's probably going to have to do what I said before, delete some of these storage pits and just build them along this side. I mean, eventually it will reach a point where there is no wood left to chop, and at that point, Saymyname simply just has more wood. A few villagers are going to get caught out here. Are we in here? The villagers still plugging the holes. What happened to that catapult? Catapult did get taken down. So Unrestricted. Now that's that one slip. Heavy catapults are a little bit out of position. A whole bunch of villagers did get taken down here. And so maybe this is the momentary lapse in concentration I was mentioning. Saymyname decides to just hit a completely different wall though. What are you doing, Saymyname? And down goes the stone thrower. Re-walls. A few more elephant archers being added in. Another villager, a couple of villagers out on a Wendy walk. And Saymayname's not going to bust through. Chariot archers just sat on the wood line. These are going to get punished here by the scythes though. Yeah, it feels like he's doing it on purpose almost at this point. But yeah, both players are now approaching each other on this north side of the wood lines. Unrestricted's got himself back up to a decent amount of resources. Again, obviously way behind Saymyname's. I think I'm just wondering if Unrestricted thinks he can actually win this game. Is what that's kind of I've been thinking. Like I said, I mentioned a few times, maybe just Unrestricted just taps out, even though he can hold it for a while. It just feels like Unrestricted's never going to be able to push into. Well, neither player is going to be able to push onto each other. I guess playing for the draw gives him the faith. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. The thing is, it's like the catapults have to get massive hit after massive hit after massive hit after massive hit to do any damage to Saymayname's eco. I think the biggest damage that's been done to Saymayname's eco is actually the researching of Zealotry. Other than that, not much has really dug into that. Okay, I mean, Scythe Chariot's just gonna headbutt the wall, I guess. Restricted, very close to chopping through here. It looks like there was a big hit from the catapults there. I think actually Unrestricted killed a few of his own units there. Another massive hit by the catapults though. But Saymyname very quickly able to replenish the numbers. What's this going up? It's just a storage pit that never got built. Okay, we've got our singular stone thrower back at it again. Actually, we got two. I don't know where the other one is. And where are the catapults now? Still a couple here. So all the chariot archers did get taken down. But yeah, here's the handful of scythes to just take down the singular stone thrower again. And yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like a player Saymyname's caliber could have quite easily think of just mass a few stone throwers and then send them. I know there's like a big amount of action going on. I know there's a lot. This game's been a long game. Focus this. Whoa, whoa! We've chopped through. We've chopped through. Unrestricted. Trying to put up some panic walls. Saymyname's army all flooding to this top side. Maybe this is a turning moment. The wood's gone. And all the lumberjacks are going to the damn hell, in the words of MemTV. Unrestricted trying his best to wall back up. Maybe this is the moment though. Wood has run out for Unrestricted. The Scythe Chariot queue is empty by one. And GG is called. And we did it. We did it, boys and girls. We got there. Unbelievable staying power from Unrestricted there. Held on for... I think he'd been behind since about 30 minutes into the game. And all it took, in the end, it was just the wood lines. I mean, he said GG, and then we're still playing. Oh no, he's still going. Yeah. Well, I was saying in the stream, I was like, I don't know if he's just holding on because he knows he can, or if he just feels like he should tap out against the Egyptians. But yeah, I feel like Saymyname probably could have mustered some better form of attack with just by grouping up like 4 or 5 stone throwers instead of just going one at a time. Unrestricted, paying attention to just sniping those off as Saymyname just drip fed those in one at a time. At the end, it was the overchop on the tree line, and so 4-2. And the series goes in favour of Saymyname. Obviously, it's probably very late in Vietnam for Saymyname now. So maybe it was just, like I said, long game, focus starting to go away. 160. Yeah, he's got a lot of resources left. Could have just sold a whole bunch of the wood. Like 10-to-1 ratio, you could have sold 50k wood and got another 5k gold. Just mashed up. Again, like 5 or 6 stone throwers at one time, and then just deleted the wall in one go, and then flooded in. But just the fact he just kept doing 1 stone throw at a time gave Unrestricted the chance to try and wall up behind and get these catapults in position to punish. Like I said, Unrestricted did a very good job of holding the line. Though, again, it never felt like he was Unrestricted was ever really going to be able to push out into Saymyname's base. So it just felt like a bit of a stalemate, as Saymyname couldn't really find the answer. Yeah, well, I like it makes sense. Like, obviously, if you lose the game, you're out of the match. But yeah, I feel like Babylonians, there's not really much they can do into Egyptians. You tried with a heavy catapult, that was basically your best option. But again, once Saymyname has got to set himself on the resources. Yeah, that tool war, that was something a little bit different. That's something you very well basically never see on Citadels. It's the full out open tool war. Yeah, no, it was a very unique game, this, and I think it'll be remembered by quite a few of the people that have witnessed it to the whole way. I don't know how many people are still in the chat that were here at the start of the game. Yeah. Yeah, the inland game probably was the most unfortunate one. That's probably the one. Just the little hole in the wall and just not seeing the not walling up behind the house and letting the scouts get in. Yeah, the inland one could definitely go on a lot better. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking of doing the replays of the Vertex Popeye game after this, but I think I'll ask you guys to forgive me when I say I think I'm going to tap out for the time being and leave it there. The series has been going on for 4 hours now. Yeah, nearly 4 hours. Obviously, there was that 15-minute break after game 2 where Saymyname, but other than that, pretty much been going the whole thing. Yeah, well, like I said, I think if that inland game, if you just got yourself walled up and got yourself in the game, that would have been a much more interesting one. And he punished the Hittites well on Inside Out. But yeah, blimey, boys and girls, I think I'm going to need an early night sleep from this one. So, oh gosh, what do we do? My brain is I've just been casting the game and I feel like really massively worn out. I don't know what you got. You must feel like unres. Imagine Saymyname is probably just going straight to bed as well. Yeah, losing his Shang always feels a little bit rough. Whoa, okay. Well, that's the thing. I was like, maybe about the 2 hour mark. That's when I started speculating maybe Unrestricted just taps out, just because. Like I said, I don't know how you'd ever win the game. So maybe just I can hold on for another hour, but I don't know if it's actually worth it. But then, obviously, you decided to go for it. Yeah, like I said, that's fair enough. It's just the Scythe Chariots from the Egyptians so hard to deal with. Score was 4-2. The game finally finished about 5 minutes ago. 3-hour game, unrestricted. Had a slight overchop on the north top side of the map, and then Saymyname broke through. Yeah, well, if Egyptians, that's why they're so good on this map, right? Is that they have options all the way through the game. Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, you held really, really well. I just couldn't really see you ever really pushing out of your base. Saymyname's Elephant Archers did an absolute ridiculous amount of damage that game. So did your guard towers actually defending the front of your base. Did I think it was like 15k damage, probably even more by the end of the game. I didn't check again. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's a bit rough in the moment, but maybe you can see that as a good positive thing. It's like if you just on your A game paying full attention, then you can still place. What am I trying to say here? Go toe to toe with Saymyname is what I'm trying to say. Still very close series, and yeah, ridiculous one at that. And I am going to try and get something to eat now, as I'm absolutely starving. How you liked Palmy? Yeah, there was a very nice rush with the Palmies there. Very well punished. That was against the Hittites, right? You did that, I think. Yeah. 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 Righto. Oh, man. Let's have a look. So it doesn't look like anyone else is streaming for the time being. So maybe I'll try and find an AOE1 stream. Is anyone streaming Age of Empires 1? 7 viewers are viewing Viltech. I don't know who Viltech is. All right, maybe we'll just leave that there for today. Like I said, there was the game between Vertex and Popeye yesterday, which I didn't actually realise was even happening until it was happening. But maybe the replays of those games will have to wait to another day. I'm not going to be around to cast games tomorrow. I don't think there are any games scheduled for tomorrow. I think for the meantime, let me just check upcoming for Clash. We have Cool versus Mini Yeti. So the other semi-final has been scheduled for Sunday. It's a little bit tough to get those guys to schedule. They're quite different time zones. So that is the only game scheduled at the moment. Bongo versus KT, they're rescheduling that game. Hopefully they get that sorted out soon. There are a handful of Centurion League games at the weekend as well. I need to actually schedule some of my own Legion Division games as well. I'll probably try and get another couple of games, well, at least one game in it for myself over the weekend. And it looks like the Swordsman action has been continuing. And I will try to cover some more of the Swordsman games in the next few weeks. It's just been mostly a lot of games to cast with the Contenders Clash tournament and everything. 3 days of voice recovery. Yeah, I think I'll be back maybe Friday to do more casts. Because I normally play cards on Wednesday, go to the local card game shop to play cards, and then I play badminton on Thursdays. So maybe it might be back on Friday to do some replay casts or maybe some league game casts if there are a couple of leagues matches going on. Otherwise, I will say my final farewells for the time being. And thank you very much for everyone that continues to watch our AOE1 coverage. It's always trying to keep the AOE1 spirit going. And I will sign out there, I think. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure when the next stream will be, but I will catch you guys soon. And goodbye for now, everyone. Goodbye. Bye.